I'm hoping what I said could make you change your mind, though it doesn't really matter when my hands are tied. I'm trying to walk across the bridges that I've burned. My only way to you is gone, the tide has turned. So give me a light, show me what I need. I know I'm blind, but I hear symphonies of your heartbeat. Trapped inside, I forgot to look beyond, I see the other side. So give me a light, show me what I need. I know I'm blind, but I hear symphonies of your heartbeat. Now that's an understatement. To walk alone, I guess it's my repayment. Please give me a light, show me what I need. I know I'm blind, but I hear symphonies of your
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Zotac Cup Valorant, powered by Nvidia, LG Ultragear, Crucial, and Corsair. It's me, joined alongside CCV, to follow the upper bracket chase to glory. Today,
Yeah,
we're going to have two intense best of three matches to decide who our two upper bracket finalists are going to be. And boy, oh boy, the past few days, even though they might have been swept, today comes the actual sweat.
absolutely. So, having a look at today's matchup as well, these teams they have used up all. I mean, they have spent all their blood, sweat, and tears to get to the stage they are, and well, unlucky for them, lucky for us, they have to push even more. With both Enigma and Kingsmen being up against each other in the upper bracket semi-finals, and with only one spot for these two teams remaining to be in the winners bracket finals. That's the thing. It is all to play for right now, and both of these rosters they have been on the up and up. We've been seeing great results from their side as well in the past couple of days, not just in the main event, however, in the South Asian and Southeast Asian qualifiers as well. Now, speaking of the bracket, let's have a look at the bracket overall. Let's have a look at how all 8 of the teams are doing so far. Today, OG, the one thing is two teams will be leaving us. Out of the four towards the low end, if we bring our eyes down the screens, Exploit, Full Sense, Reckoning, Enigma, Galaxy. Out of these four teams, two of them will be leaving us. But in the meanwhile, the upper brackets as well, that is where the real action will happen. Right now, as we just saw, we will be seeing Enigma up against Kingsman, Enigma coming from India, Kingsman from Malaysia, and later down the road in the evening, we'll be watching Velocity from India as well, up against Action PH from the Philippines. So two great set of best of threes already. I'm not going to lie, I'm really looking forward to seeing these as well. And overall, I'm just really excited in seeing the player performances, because the player performances, especially the MVP performances as well, overall in this entire tournament has been just amazing. Let's have a look at the MVP so far, because I think we will start to notice a pattern in the agents they play.
Oh yeah, Deathmaker I think farmed up quite a bit yesterday on 77
Mm-hmm.
kills, and on the number one position. On number two, we have ourselves none other than ZSB. He's been a phenomenal jet for his team, and it's all jets that we have on the board as Georgie. He's
Exactly.
coming in third. We've seen a little bit from Shooter, but we didn't get to see much from his matchup yesterday. So hopefully he's able to keep the dream alive and push through that lower bracket. But as it stands, this is the MVP standing.
True. I'm really excited to seeing these MVPs in action as well. Finally, we are going to be seeing Georgie up against Deathmaker, Action PH versus Velocity. That one's really going to be insane as well. But even right now, we will have the two Jets facing off against each other. We'll bring the head to head. For now, it's not just about the Jets. It's not just about the MVPs now, OG, is it? It's about the entire roster of these teams. And especially for side of Enigma Gaming, let's have them up on our screens as well. Especially for Enigma, with the new roster change that I'm sure everyone who even follows slightly South Asian competitive Valorant, they will know about this major roster change. They will know Excali has joined Enigma. He played yesterday's match against the side of Team Exploit, ended up in Enigma ended up winning 13-4, 13-4 on both the maps. And with a result like that and a roster looking like this, Enigma are looking lethal. And I'm not going to lie, whenever we see Enigma next, I really just want to see them on the journey to improve and improve, because at the moment, Enigma has 100% in my eyes secured themselves as another tier 1 roster, just like Velocity and just like Global in the South Asian region. Enigma have secured that spot. But now there is another roster, not from South Asia, but from Southeast Asia, who will be the opposition of this EG roster today.
Yeah, Kingsmen, they have themselves a lot to prove.
Yes.
They performed one of the biggest upsets in the tournament, where now they have to prove their mettle. Again, it's against Enigma Gaming, right? Kingsmen, they have everything to fight for here. I feel like for Kingsmen, if they go down to the low bracket, that might be their curse. Sure, they can fight back up, but not against the teams down there. You don't want to
Mm-hmm.
risk that. So, Kingsmen, they're gonna try to finish this as soon as possible. And you know what? We're talking about both teams. Let's quickly head into the head-to-head to get a better idea of what we might get to see on the server. Because
True.
these names, they are scary in and of itself. Let's see the stats. This time it's gonna
Oh.
be raw fuel. So you can see that on the side of Enigma Gaming, you might see the numbers be bigger. That's just due to the way the matchup went yesterday. Don't take
Yep.
anything away from Kingsman, ladies and gentlemen, because they might just make you their queen.
Yeah, the side of Kingsman, especially Nomfu as well, the performance he had against Full Sense, the way we saw it a day before yesterday, it was really insane. And that was the thing, because Full Sense gave a far more closer fight to the members of Kingsman. That's why the numbers are more equalized, more neutral. Because Nomfu, not only did he deal damage, but he also got damage dealt to him and to the jet that he was playing. On the other hand, Rawfield was just able to pop off almost a KD of 2, above 200 average damage ratio. That is so much. Above 200, that's like almost 2 bodies dropping every single round. 40% headshot as well. I think it's Raw Fuel and then RVK, the 2 members of Enigma who I really want to see the headshot percentage of. Because yeah, Raw Fuel in his Blade Storm, even the rifles, he pops off. But RVK with that Sheriff, he is absolutely just something else. And that is also something I want to see today. I want to see the sheriff gods against each other. We have complimented the Southeast Asian teams a lot, regardless of which team they are, that they know their pistols. They know how to land those shots with the sheriffs. However, the Enigma members are no strangers to that as well. All 5 of the members, whatever the roster will be today, they know how to land those shots as well. And as much as this is going to be a strategic affair between the 2 teams, it is also going to be an all-out frag-out war. Now, where is this war going to be placed? It's not going to be one singular map. This is a war after all, not a battle. Battles are fought in one place. When considering this is a war, let's have a look at the map veto. Let's see the 3 maps that we will be witnessing in front of us and the order in which we'll be witnessing them. Starting off with Haven, it has been chosen by Kingsmen. Does make sense. When Kingsmen played this map against Full Sense, they ended up defeating Full Sense 13-10 there. And for Full Sense, it was looking like a good map themselves. They've had a lot of experience. So for Kingsmen to win right here, win right there, it does shape up to be good. But then you have the raw firepower of Enigma Gaming, and on Ascent, I don't think that Kingsmen may be able to match that. They did win this map as well against Full Sense. I'm not going to hold that up against Enigma, but I think Enigma have good chances of Ascent. As to what happens on Split, that's really up for a lot of debate.
Yeah, it is. And the debate should be closed within maybe 2-3 hours. Let's see how
True.
these teams are going to go by this entirety. Because at the end of the day, it's about attrition, right? Both these teams can go all the way. And this is not a curveball kind of map pool. It's not like yesterday where we got to see something like a fracture or
Yep.
even Icebox to some extent, right? Just depends on which team. So with Haven, Ascent, and Split being the 3 maps, it should just be comfort at the end of the day, which both these teams have. Ooh, it's gonna be close, CCV. It's gonna be really close, and this is something that we've been waiting for you know close to a week, where we get this nail biting of a match where we'd
Yeah.
be at the edge of our seat. This start for Enigma on the attack. Haven, what do you say, man? How do you feel like the attack is going to go from Enigma? Because we got to see a lot of interesting compositions, different initiators. One thing that we have consistently seen on Haven is that single duelist pickup from a lot of these teams. Do you think that that's going to be a recurring trend?
Maybe, I'm not really sure. I mean, yesterday when Enigma were playing the side of Fracture, it was quite interesting seeing Excali on the breach. He did have a good performance right there. So maybe something along the lines of that Enigma bring out a breach and a Sova. Or, I can see something like that happening, but at the same time, who will be on the Sentinel duty? That is something that a question has to be asked yet again. Who exactly is going to be the Sentinel for their side as well? But with that being said, I mean, RVK can always do that. He does play the Killjoy quite a bit. We have seen him play that. But what exactly, like, I'm not worried too much about the composition of Enigma. What I'm more thinking about is that on a map like Haven, which player is going to pick whom? That is my main priority. And this was a similar thing that happened yesterday in my eyes to the side of Velocity as well, right? When they were facing off against Reckoning Esports without Vibho being there, without the primary Sentinel being there, Marzel took up the responsibility of playing that Killjoy on the map of Bind. So in my eyes, something similar may happen on the map of Haven, where Enigma, they will be going on these Sentinel duties. They may be shaking their roster up. I really want to see something like that. I know everyone wants to with this new roster change. You want to see Excali performing as well as he already did against Exploit. But today, the opponents are far, far tougher. And speaking of the opponents, as for the side of Kingsmen, I think they're going to go for the regular thing that they went up against Full Sense as well. It's going to be single duelist, double initiator, Sova, and a Sky. I think that, in my opinion, is what Kingsmen will be opting for. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If it worked against Full Sense, if it's in the meta, if it works for you, it's a tried and tested combination, why not repeat it once more and take another dub?
For sure. Upper bracket, it's going to be important for them to maintain, especially in the tournaments like this, right? We've seen how it could be maybe a team like Reckoning Esports maybe biting the dust now after their performance yesterday. So no
Right.
team can even afford at this point to slog CCV. With this matchup almost getting ready, I think we should have the game in just about a minute, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading into Haven, a map with 3 sites. Now, yesterday, I think we got to see a nice change of things where we got to see 4 different initiators on both the teams, right? So we had the Sova Sky on one
No,
side,
Sova
and
KO, Sova
oh yeah,
KO, and Breach Sky. Yep.
Sova KO and Breach Sky. So these are things that we don't usually see. And like you said, today is gonna be a fight between multiple regions. So we have India, we have Philippines, again, we have Velocity Gaming from India as well. So these are all going to be potentially contrasting game styles that
Yep.
we do get to see. Maybe we expect more of that, That's what I'm looking forward to, man.
Always the case. I think now it's getting more and more normalized in both the regions as well. The more the esports club are hosting tournaments, including Southeast Asian rosters as well, the better it gets for both the regions. But yeah, there are going to be differences all around. As right now, I think from the looks of it, we may just be ready to jump into the game. The agent selection screen can happen at any time. I know we've already discussed through or the agent compositions we're thinking. Now, what complications can they have on both the rosters? Because, yeah, Breach versus Sky, it's been a hot topic for, I'd say, the past couple of weeks. Every single time, every single region, casters have this discussion, and I think we can have it as well. That what exactly can Enigma do without all the information there? I mean, obviously, in compensation, they're going to get more stuff like instead like in compensation they're getting more of like anti-entrenchment abilities that Breach provides you, such as the aftershock, the fault line, the flashes. But at the same time, the heal from the sky, I think that regrowth, or yeah, I think it's called regrowth only, that ability often goes by very unnoticed. And the thing is, when you only have a single sentinel, as you always do with like double initiator setups with Sova Sky, that heal on the jet or essentially on any other defender, it's a major, major priority. And it's something that, like I said, it often gets overlooked when the Breach versus Sky debate happens. But right now, I think the debate is going to continue. Let's jump into the agent selection screen and let's see once and for all, are we going to see Breach versus Sky yet again? Or are one of these other two rosters going to go for an entirely different composition? We may just see double duelist. As of now, Kingsmen, they have already locked and loaded the Sky. Ivan will be on the as to the side of Enigma Gaming, Anti is the only one remaining, and I think we know he's going to play the Astra. So even Excali, not on the Breach, on the Sky. So I think Mirror Comms may just be on the board with the one difference. So not entirely Mirror, but yeah, Zeke versus RVK, that's going to be interesting as well with Cypher and Killjoy.
What's your preference here? Especially on a map like Haven, I think I prefer the Cypher a little more. Ability to lock down a side, information, the neural theft as well. I just feel like for this map especially, considering how the corridors are and how the rotations pan out, it's very crucial to have a Cypher on the defense.
Exactly.
But of course,
That's the thing.
that's why we've gotten accustomed to see a Sova as well on this map, right? You not only get the information on the back of the recon, but the shock dart, especially when there's a Cypher against you, is often used to break that utility and then allow your jet to potentially tailwind in on the
True.
back of a cloud burst and potentially burst the entire side open. So yeah, Killjoy, I'm not 100% sure on the pickup from RVK, but I know for a fact that he is, and that's all that matters, right? It matters on your confidence, it matters on your game, and it matters on your aim. We know that both these teams have all 3 ticked out. The only question is who has the better of the lot?
That is true. And RVK with any gun is deadly. I mean, the clips we've had from this man, I still remember the one clip RVK had of the knife onto a Viper. I think it was last year in the Challenger series here at the Esports Club as well. Different matchup, different teams, but still, it was an amazing clip. Got quite viral as well. But right now, what may just blow up may not be that clip, but it's going to be this matchup because we are going to be seeing Enigma facing off against Kingsmen. For in my eyes, I think for the very first time, they may have faced off against each other before. I'm not really sure. What I am sure is though, the pistol round is about to start. So without any further ado, let's commence round number 1. It is going to be the side of Kingsmen on defense. Enigma have chosen attack since it was the map choice of Kingsmen. Enigma starting off with their own choice. RVK with the opening kill, but there's a quick fade. The main player, Rafuel, is gone in with Anti being off the board as well. With his great kill from Doctor, it means that Enigma are severely handicapped in this entire execution. They will get into the bomb site scotch-free. So without the smokes, they will be here. However, this post plant isn't looking all too well.
Yeah, it ain't. Now, this double setup in towards garage. Enigma.
Planted.
Oh goodness, this is gonna hurt if they aren't prepared for it. Next Galley gets taken down. This is boiled down to a 2 versus 2. Rexy and RBK hold their own, and no, boo. It's all on him. 100 HP. Rexy, he's the one on the health deficit. Spots the aggression, and Nonfu, all he needs to do is pre-spam. 40 HP is all that's left. Rexy trying to play this for the post.
No.
Does get a nice connection with a shock dart. Sadly, he already would have tanked up too much damage, and that's gonna be the diffuse coming in. This came so close to comfort, especially considering the fact that it was a 2 versus 4 at one point.
Yeah, that was just, I mean, Enigma should have had that. But unfortunately, you know, they just couldn't hold on. It was an amazing start from Kingsmen, mind you. It was looking really well. But then Rexy, RVK, they just popped off with multiple kills towards the C bomb site, towards garage and all those areas. However, Rexy, he made one fatal error. I think in his mind, he was he was far more confident that Nomfu may have been on a lesser HP, somewhere around like 60 or something. So the shock dart would be enough to inebriate him and, you know, potentially to kill him as well. However, Nomfu, I mean, it doesn't matter how much HP he is in. His opponents, they may just be on 0. As already we see Antidote being the first casualty with possibly more to follow. RVK also goes down. Kingsman in his anti-eco looking very, very strong.
Yeah, 2 members out from the get-go. They're just holding now.
Here.
They know that they have the opportunity to do damage. That opportunity, though, needs to come on the back of patience. And Kingsmen have a lot of patience. And Scally tagged. Van coming in with a bag. They are gonna just try and aggress down B. It's all on Rock. Try and do a little damage, which ain't gonna be possible. A flawless round, and yeah, this is gonna boost the economy of Kingsmen, the morale of Kingsmen. Let's see how they play their bonus, because that's gonna be the route that they take, right? Considering they didn't lose any guns, it's very viable for them to maybe send Nomfu with the Marshall to get that aggressive peek towards A. A lot of Jets like to do this. The range is there. With the Marshall, there is accuracy when you are unzoomed. So this is more than just a viable opportunity for them to win. Although Rexy is going to come in with that God Recon in towards A long. So it's going to be hard for Van to find that aggression on the back of his Sova. No, he's not going to waste any time in holding the perfect angle. With the Recon, he knows the whereabouts of Rexy. Playing that smoke though, Rexy's able to outmaneuver Nomfu, and with the guns, they're just able to outduel the entirety of Kingsmen, leaving it all under 2 men. Which is going to be ZQ and Rizza. Rexy, a little bit of a whiff, and a miss. I guess they never miss, huh? Well, that's proven wrong. Rafuel there to cover his boy in the back. And it's all left on a ZQ who's already spotted. So a flawless round with the guns prior for the side of Kingsmen. Now, with the big guns, a flawless round by Enigma. Both sides proving that they could perform clinical operations. Although, when the pressure hits, the vein pops, and that's when things get messy.
That is true. And right now, it's just going to be a matter of, you know, who can handle the pressure more. Because both of these teams, I think these initial 3 rounds have been enough of a precursor to make them realize that, okay, this is very, very serious. If they weren't already in the mood, well, they surely are now. We are heading into the first full buy. Nomfu's got in the op right now. Oh, it obscures vision. However, he spots Raw Fuel, and now he's waiting for the cloudburst. Just a very wide angle, and Raw Fuel realizes that this Vandal against Nomfu in a long-range angle, it may not work. However, oh, the members of Enigma, they're just walking up. I'm not really sure what Anti was planning there as the Astra. He has been yet another time the first casualty. Although, good for him. Excali gets the trade, and everyone from Enigma is executing onto the C-bomb. Said this can be lethal, but no. Raw Fuel's there to cover the tracks, and Zeke also falls. Kingsmen are back down in the lower numbers. However, the spike, it's going to not be planted for now. Rexy yet again tagged even more. Down to 25 HP. Beautiful headshot from him on right there. The recon bolt goes through.
Flash.
The guiding light will go away.
Oh,
However,
no.
RVK Rexy, they still get 2 headshots. Now it's all down to Nomfu. He's got
Blade
the
Storm.
updraft, the Blade Storm. It misses. He's got to land it. Right click. It works. Oh my god, Nomfu. Madman right there. Look at him. He's happy. He knows this was an important clutch because he risked his operator. He risked his Blade Storm. However, the risk to reward is always going to be there.
Free gun, by the way, just letting you guys know. Makes that 1 versus 2 look easy. I love the fact that the server from the side of Kingsman did go for the double shock dart, right? That's what almost made this clutch possible to some extent. And you have to consider the damage put in by ZQ or onto Excali. Utility was half the game there. And well, the player, you can't hate him, Nomfu. An absolute beast. Not only with the operator, but also with the free guns that he does get. The recon does really reveal Nomfu's position, and that was a beautiful play from Raw Fuel. He avoided the angle initially, made sure the recon pushes Nomfu back, re-engaged at the perfect moment, and that's very well. The early frag going their way, and now it's all going to be down to the slow play. They're looking to gruel this out to maybe punish a little more aggression coming in from Kingsman to just see if that hunt for information is punishable.
Perhaps it may just be as right now. Oh, again, Enigma. Not too much in terms of map control. They are looking to execute onto the C-bomb side, which will be correct since there's only utility being placed right now from Kingsman. Now go the Astral Stars from Antidote, and RVK destroys the tripwire. First person in, the recon bolt gets a lot of information. Great execute, it's shaping up to be, but still no casualties. It's going to be a casualty for once for the members of Kingsman. However, then they just have been gunned down. Excali, Rawfuel, Rexy, everyone chipped in. And Enigma, they took the entire pot with them.
Wow, that was quite the hit there. The slow pace round from Enigma. It was hard for Kingsman to rotate in the nick of time. They had the right read there, right? It's only the positioning and the timing that could have been a little more beneficial for the side of Kingsman if committed earlier. And again, Haven's a map where committing rotations is equivalent to death most of the times. It also relies on you to have that right read and have that aggressive and reliable information, which Enigma Gaming know, and they were ready to punish in that mid round. Hence that slow rotation, hence the play. I'm loving what I see for now. I just hope that we get to continue to see this. And Nomfu, he looks more beautiful than the play he pulled off.
I'm not sure if you're like complimenting the camera quality or Nomfu, just but regardless, the player's very serious right now. So replicating that, let's talk about what we have seen so far. The timer, as we can see on Andy's screen, it is about to run out. We get the audio cues as well, and we are back into the preparation phase for both of these rosters. So back now, yet again, buys are happening, and with that previous round, it was really a great execute from the members of Enigma. That is more what I want to see right now. Antidote, yeah, in terms of kills, he hasn't gotten off to the best start, but I'm not going to put him down for that. Kills, it's fine. You're an Astra. You know, don't pressurize that. But the fact that out of these 5 rounds, and I think 2 or 3, he's been the first casualty as the only controller on an attacking side on a large map like Haven, you really can't be doing that. Now let's see another execute happened from the side of EG. Kingsmen, they're just on the eco vibe. So yeah, they didn't. So the members are on the attack. They didn't even need to invest. Sorry, a lot of utility. They just pushed through, walked in the bomb side. Kingsmen were not retaliating back. Now they're trying to fire back. However, yet again they're getting punished for Excalibur the opening kill. Sky taking down a Sky. Now the other 4 members of this defense are trying to pounce through in towards the bomb side, but it is going to be extremely difficult. Look at the angle. Rofuel's holding one headshot. That's the second. And Rofuel Rexy finished things off. Flawless for Enigma.
Yeah, that was a half investment coming in from the side of Kingsmen, right? Not a problem. Even though Enigma might have won that flawless, it's in their best interest to close this round out. They're going to be going up against rifles. Nompu won't be able to reinvest into that. Wait, has he reinvested? Well, he has. All right, he has enough money to reinvest into that operator. I assume that he might not be able to, but I'm proven wrong. Let's see where this operator takes Kingsman. This is the second time around we're seeing it. The time prior, it wasn't able to come up that big on the clutch as it was the classic that won them that round. Nomfu, nobody there to challenge him. Mind you, he's been playing the B side even with the Marshall. So Enigma Gaming, they know for a fact that if they're gonna hit the B side, there's a high probability of there being a sniper there. And considering Rofuel did take that aggression through A long, if that angle does not have an operator placed up, it's either gonna be on the top of B server or on top of the C side. Regardless, Enigma, they've avoided a lot of the setup so far. Now they started discovering.
Yeah, the Trailblazer
drone will check Doctor though.
It does. The Trailblazer of Sky on the side of Kingsmen. Oh, that was just unfortunate right there. The Seekers are going off as well. And right now, Kingsman just in the middle of the bomb side. Nomfu, he can see the Sky. He shoots, but he misses. And now he's got to fall back. He truly has to. He missed his shot. And Reza as well. With him falling down, Kingsmen may just be out of this. However, Rofuel through the Nano Swarm. You expect people to push smokes, but Nano Swarm's absolutely not. Rofuel though, he doesn't care what people think. He wants to do what his heart wants, and his heart wants to go for more frags right now. Antidote. Great shot right there through the wall. Ivan is off, and now Kingsman, they're only left with Zeke, who can save just the Vandal. He cannot even go for the retrieval of the operator, and that I think is a major problem for Kingsman, because after ecoing, this was their full buy. And OG, this is shaping up to be a flawless win for Enigma. Kingsmen find themselves in major trouble, and what is going to be their way out of this quicksand? That is going to be the question.
You mentioned Zeke trying to save the Vandal. They know where he is. Getting a scent. 2 members of Enigma close in on this position, and it's Scally who secures that frag alongside a Team Ace. Team Ace, if you're newer to Valorant or FPS, essentially means that every single member from the team got 1 kill that round. And one important factor is Enigma now leading by a point. 4-3. That operator out of the hands means that it's gonna be eco time for the side of Kingsman. Again, he's gonna be trying to save with that big green, right? He has 3,000 credits in the bag, so for all intents and purposes, he's looking to get back on that operator. The only thing is, we have not seen that much impact from the operator off the bat, and we're already towards the halfway point of the first half. When do you abandon this hope and go for a rifle? Nomfu, he could have also considered the risk investment of getting half armor and going for an orb to maybe see that Blade Storm. Rexy, nice frag, but he's tagged. And Doctor, he might just be tagged by that drone if he ain't careful enough. He had the opportunity to get that backstab, but RVK was looking. So he's smart in taking the conservative approach here, trying to fall back and regroup before he commits to a fight. Excali, nice frag on a Nomfu. This hit, you gotta hope that it sticks. It's good that Rexy found the frag on a Reza, right? Keeps the numbers even. C-side, the players are traded. They do hear this though, and they know exactly what's up. The entirety of Enigma making the rotation towards the A side. That could have been a lineup there. And the Doctor, he delivers
30 seconds left.
the decapitation, not the operation that you wanted to go into. The one you get regardless. Rofuel playing this very common off angle. which at least for this round will not be checked. Antidote knows that Doctor is around, and now a 2 versus 2.
Beautiful shot.
2 players on either side being dead low. On the side of Enigma, it's
One
Sova,
enemy remaining.
and on the side of Enigma is also the numbers. 1 versus 2 for the Doctor. He needs to perform a clinical incision if he wants this clutch.
He's gonna be peeking, and he just got Rexy lacking right there. He's going to be sticking at half. There's the dash from raw fuel. Doctor peeks. He gets it. Now, does he have enough time?
I don't think so. Nah.
1/10 of a second. 1/10 of a second. My God. That was something. I mean, still, regardless, what a clutch from Doctor right there. 2 sheriff kills, then came the Phantom. Just absolute miraculous stuff. Let's look at these slow-mo replays as well. He peeks. What a shot onto RVK. He's in the gravity well as well. And then the final headshot. 4K in total. And I still can't get over 1/10 of a second. I mean, that's like... I don't even have an analogy for that. 1/10 of a second, that's... Oh, Jesus. Anyways, it's like racing car speeds and stuff. But regardless, Enigma, they still take the win. Arguably a very hard-fought one, but good for the side of EG that their economy is still looking well, and they're looking to get more kills as well. These are just a little too wide in the shoulder peak, and now Rafuel is quite aware about him. However, Rafuel, he may have information. He's not going to act on it. Neither of the members of Enigma. They're still planning a late execution, something that is very in their plans right now. For the past couple of rounds, we've been seeing these late executes, and they can happen anywhere. As a matter of fact, I think EG are trying to sell this fake on the B bomb side. We are already seeing rotations happen from the members of Kingsmen. However, the spike is going on A. There is still the Sova. There is still Reza right here on the A bomb side, and Nomfu's present there as well. So now with the lockdown being destroyed, Enigma have used up so much of their time with little to nothing to show for it. Only a casualty to show for that, mind you, OG.
They're committing now to this ace side Nomfu. He has a good idea that there could have been a member crossed, and that was just patience alongside the flick.
Left.
Nomfu! He's doing it! He's holding the side like he holds their neck. A brutal choke. As the rotations, they come in to poke. And boy, this is not a... Ooh, nice shot to catch Doctor jumping. Still though, this is not a good round from the side of Enigma. It felt like they had that game plan, but their game plan was a little too rigid. They weren't able to improvise in the mid round, which is very crucial in a map like Haven where you need to bait out those rotation CCV. You can't expect to sell a fake, hold outside A for another 20 seconds, and then commit to that A side, because at that point, Kingsmen already knew what's up.
Yep.
And they still have 4 ultimates, mind you. 4 ultimates on the side of Kingsmen.
Yeah, absolutely do. And yeah, yet again, Kingsmen, they've had this bit of resurrection right now with them, where it is helping them. Oh, Rafuel does get tagged through the wall. He's got a dash away. Nomfu trying for the wall bangs right now. As Excali, by himself as an initiator, he's pushing up. It's a risky maneuver. The spy cam, yeah, it immediately spots him. There is going to be the shoulder peek from Zeke. However, he just debates himself. And right now debates the enemies as well. The Hunter's Fury, it does provide value. Rexy will be good for one, but there's still members of Kingsmen in the bomb side. Not anymore. Rafuel clears them out. And now Enigma have the bomb side clear for their taking.
Yeah, and RVK's aggression through Garage was perfectly timed. The Hunter's Fury from the side of Reza. This is absolutely huge. The side of Enigma baiting out that Hunter's Fury. And still an uncharacteristic miss. This could be a clip though. As this clip's almost empty, RVK comes in from the back. How much cardio does RVK feel like doing today? Because he's running around the map and nobody has any inkling of it.
Not only that, but he's also running through the minds of his enemies. Come on, that joke deserved a little more.
Yeah, bro. I'm just trying to
okay.
focus on RVK.
Sure.
Trying to see the size of his brain through his head. Not visible though.
Okay.
Still, I can feel it on the server. Not gonna lie. RVK has been an absolute menace for the side of Kingsmen, which also is a plus side and a negative side, right? We've seen RVK
Right.
get punished on those kind of plays, but when you start making more of those plays, it kind of also puts an inkling of misinformation and mistrust on the side of Kingsman. Imagine when the clock is against you and the time's ticking, you have RVK still up in, let's say, a 2vx or a 3vx situation. You're always going to be worried about the backline, CCV. That's not a
Yes.
position of comfort whatsoever. And talking about comfort in the back lines, look at this. They know what RVK is up
Oh.
to. They're like, bruh, you want to taste your own medicine? We have the doctor. We have the prescription. And are they going to be having the element of surprise? There is the turret from the side of RVK, which momentarily just went away. Now they're going to use that tail blaze. The nanoswarm instantly deletes it though, and now that backstab
Now
well.
Enigma there.
Oh, what?
Well, yeah, even if they're aware, I don't think it means that they'll be winning the gunfights. Everyone gets stacked down to 4 HP. Excali may just be going for a pick. And Kingsman now towards defender spawn. That's where they're pressurizing the attackers even more. Raw fuel stuck under heaven. He'll be good for one. And now the other two members of Enigma, they get back into the bomb side. The Seekers go through. Yet again, this is gonna come down to time. 100 HP on Excali, and there just isn't enough time for Zeke. With 3 bullets as well, this guy knows that he has won. So Excali, great win right there. Enigma, at the very least, make sure that this half will be a 7-5 win for them. Although not all too bleak for the side of Kingsman, as the operator has been retrieved. So that's all well and good. But Enigma having this lead, I'd say that Kingsman, they're obviously at a disadvantageous position. However, I don't think they'll be minding it too much. If by some miracle the members of Kingsman get this round, which does seem unlikely since their buy is very weak, I'm not going to lie. Spectres, Judge, Operator, yes, some of these guns have special use cases on the map of Haven, but overall 5 rifles full armor is just so much more of a well-rounded setup that you can't really argue against that. But regardless, if Enigma win this 8-4, it's going to be really good. But Kingsman, a 7-5 ain't too bad.
The drone should make sure the game plan of Kingsman is transparent towards
I've got your trail.
RBK. He's been holding this position for quite a while. That was a hard fight to win. When you're up against a trip, your movement speed reduces. You have a very limited window to take that fight. And Antidote is going to extend his window of opportunity towards T. The rest of Enigma going to rotate. Meanwhile, it's not going to be RBK, but Raw Fuel on the back lines. Oh, he's going to tailwind in front, and he gets the squad. The triple, actually. 8-4. This is not Enigma Gaming's pick, if I'm not mistaken. The fact that they're coming out of this 4 rounds ahead is beautiful. Now, they just need to continue this good fate and face that they've been having in the first half.
True. It's going to be a bit more difficult once, you know, the side swap happens, once we're on defense, which already the side swap has happened right now. But right now, not going to lie, Enigma, yeah, this small lead that they have, this buffer period of say 4 rounds, I think it buys them enough time to get to know the strategy that Kingsman will be going for in their attack. I think that's the main factor here. I'm not going to lie, I'm very certain that Enigma surely must have done their homework in the previous match that, you know, the side of Kingsman played on the map of Haven against Full Sense. But right now, first let's jump into the highlights of the match. Full Sense have just, Kingsman have just now played against not Full Sense but rather Enigma. The first half highlights are ready for all of us to witness and to see, to have a recap as to what exactly has happened in these 12 rounds. But other than that, Enigma, they surely must have done their homework. I'm very sure they have. However, it's still going to be a bit different than playing against them live, regardless of how much you know about the opposition. So for that very reason, the extra 4 rounds that they have will give them enough time to get to know whatever the members of Kingsman have planned, whatever, you know, strategies they're going for. Like the strat of Enigma many times was get info, play very slow, try to get a pick in the initial couple of, in the initial stage or like the earlier phase of the action planning phase, and then if you can execute, regardless of how many members are alive, just execute onto the bomb side, and sooner rather than later it's going to work for you if you can overwhelm your opponents, which many a times EG was successful in doing. Is that now the same theory that the members of Kingsmen will be applying, or are they looking to shake things up, hopefully and possibly to try and get more rounds for themselves? As we have a look at this 1v3, beautiful stuff right there from Nomfu, moving right click, Blade Storm operator, everything worked for him in that round.
I think the blade trim didn't work though. He kind of whiffed
Yeah,
that,
true.
but it's fine. It is what it is, man. He got the clutch, the more important aspect of this picture. I think one thing that might change this game for Kingsman is Enigma and Raw Fuel's performance on the operator, right? Especially on the defense duty. We've not gotten to see a whole lot of that operator action from the side of Nomfu. He's been shut down on so many of these occasions, not just by gunfights, but by utility, by circumstance. Now, we need to see if the same circumstance inflicts upon Raw Fuel. Both these teams have equally competent players on their side. So it's not going to be any easier for Enigma than it was for the side of Kingsman, man.
Absolutely, that's the thing. I think the side swap always plays a big factor. The one thing we have been witnessing for the past couple of days, especially even in the Southeast Asian qualifiers, and I have been mentioning this time and time again, this pattern, that the side swap really is a big and an extremely influential factor for both of these rosters and for generally teams in Southeast Asia as well. It really affects them. Even in South Asia, it does, but not to this extent that we have been witnessing for the past couple of days. And I think here, it's going to be a big blend of what exactly we have seen, what new things are going to overcome, because we haven't seen the side swap happen. However, now we surely will. So without any further ado, let's jump into the game. Let's start off round number 13. It is going to be the side of Enigma on defense. Kingsmen will be the ones attacking, and now the pistol round is upon us in a matter of seconds. So Enigma members, they know they're ready. Kingsmen members, they have their work cut out for them, but it's going to be a slightly longer journey with the path that they have taken and with the position they find themselves in, being 4 rounds down. However, that doesn't mean that it's going to be an Enigma win nonetheless. Enigma as well will have to fight for it. Both of these teams will, and I'm not just talking about Haven, I am talking about this entire best of 3 and the Zotac Cup overall, because looking at the caliber of these teams here, upper brackets, lower brackets, anyone can get rid of anyone they want to.
Yeah. It's going to be Kingsman with a tall task ahead of them, right? This comeback is going to require not only the pistol to go their way, but them to potentially even dodge the possibility of a bonus and play for a complete investment. A lot of key factors required for the side of Kingsman to make their way back in the map of Haven, which is the first map of those best 3, ladies and gentlemen. Rexy. He's going to be solo towards A, and he doesn't spot any aggression whatsoever. I love the setup that Enigma have going. It's so reliant on the side of Kingsman coming towards C, Garage, or B. Whichever angle they do commit to, there are going to be members of Enigma present there. And the right call for Kingsman to make is now to poke and prod a little towards Garage and B, then fall back towards A potentially. Play on the back of the rotation that Raw Fuel has to commit. And the fight potentially he has to commit as well. That looked like it was a possible fight for him to win, although Raw Fuel will get revealed and will get buried 10 feet under. This is a steamroll towards the B side. It's hard to retake the B side. It's even harder when you don't have numbers and utility. Well, it doesn't seem like Enigma have members left standing on the server. 5 to 8, the start of what could be map 1 going the way of Kingsman. But again, that's a little too over optimistic for now. It's going to be round for round, kill for kill, man for man, until one team hits 13.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie that even though in the first half, Enigma, they still lost the pistol round, and then following through, they lost in the side of like the anti-eco as well, pretty badly. That anti-eco was great from the side of Nomfu and his Marshall, but they still managed to make a comeback. They still managed to get multiple rounds on board. So similarly right now, only with only with all this on the board, I'd say it's a risky maneuver. And, especially Rexy going for the Marshall right now, it's also there. And considering the fact that Rexy's on the Sova, not a lot of escape, like fast escape options for him, unlike what a Jet has in store for herself and the ability she can use. Rexy, yeah, he can shock out his opponents. He can, deny entry to them. However, when the members are pushing in with this many numbers, Kingsmen right now, as they are, I'm not going to lie, that things are just going to get a two-bit overwhelming for the members of Enigma. Rexy is the first one to fall. Roth just walk straight into the trap of the attackers. That is 2 kills going in the favor of Kingsmen, with potentially more to follow as the Doctor. He'll be wide peeking, but he is the first casualty. Ivan, though, takes his position right now. He is right there, peeking the corner. Even then, a little too wide, but he safely retreats. And Zeke is there to counteract any measures that Enigma were taking. Kingsmen win another round. And Enigma, though this anti-eco wasn't as bad as the previous one, they still got a couple of kills. It's a round loss nonetheless.
Yeah. Now, it's the important question, CCV. Do the side of Kingsmen play this bonus? They've been winning the past few rounds consecutively, and this is the best call that they've made so far. The full investment. They have an even better investment than the side of Enigma. The recon being lined up by Riza. Not mistaken, that's a recon all the way in towards side, which is right under heaven. Instantly gets deleted by Rexy. Nomfu, nice entry. Has this guy right around the corner to perform a little bit of first aid. No tailwind available for Nomfu though, so he needs to take this fight one step at a time, and he does. The rotations have come on through. The flash allows Nomfu to disengage, and now the double commitment. Riza gets them both. 7 to 8. The comeback, slow and steady on the side of Kingsmen, as they make a crucial call and they execute it to perfection. They've broken the economy of Enigma. So as we're gonna head into this round, you can almost expect an equalizer.
Absolutely can. And I think not only is this a very materialistic equalizer in the form of that the round count has been equalized, but I think the mentality of both the teams is now back on like square one right from the get-go. Now Enigma, whatever advantage they had, whatever confidence they were feeling, it has been shut down to a certain extent, and they're back on ground level. Although this headshot from Rexy, that may put him on cloud 9. What a shot right there from the Marshall, making sure that an important kill happens early on. Without the Sova, Kingsmen are going to be slightly not looking all too well, but good for them. They still have the Sky. They can get a little more information in order to assist them getting the execution or wherever they want to execute onto the bomb site. However, Enigma, without a single casualty lost, with more and more time going off, I think it's better and better that the defense is staying right where they are. Now, this can be a big problem though. If Kingsmen time this correctly, they can catch the Enigma members lacking, because RVK, he's the only one in the C-bomb side. All he's got is a sheriff. He needs info and he needs to retreat safely. As of now, he's gotten information. Now, can he retreat back? From the looks of it, perhaps. He's firing through Ivan. Yeah, he couldn't see him through the smoke. The spike is gonna go down, and Enigma, everyone in Enigma is right there from Defender Spawn, and one from Garage. The Garage member has been taken off. 3 members pushing from Defender Spawn.
Oh my God.
3 kills happen instantly, and the Doctor's right here. The spike is gonna be stuck. That's gonna be one easy. That's the double. Okay, we have seen him pull off a 4K before, but in that round, he did not win. Now the shot dart tags him. That's the third. The reload is going through. What is going on? Rexy is going to be peeking. Doctor's right there. Close quarter angle. 8 bullets in the magazine. 3 now. And that will not be his fourth. Rexy secures that. You can see the release of frustration on his face. Now that he finally knows it's over. And Enigma, they take this thrifty.
Yeah, that came so close to the wire though. And you can see how well the Doctor played that situation, right? Got the lineup there, isolated that 1v1 thereafter, and he was trying to hold for as much time. And Rexy wasn't buying that. The half stick means that the round's almost secured from that point. 9-7. This is Enigma's rebuttal. This is their way back, potentially. It's gonna be the operator on the side of Raw Fuel that's looking for some action towards the C side, while the rest of Kingsmen are heading and making a lot of chaos towards A. That, however, draws in the rotation from only Excali, so it seems that the operator is gonna stay put where it is. And this drone, is it gonna be enough of a deterrent from the side of Enigma to push Kingsmen to the other side? Oh, beautiful shot by the Doctor. Eliminates raw fuel. And that is the operator out of the round. This was the investment that Enigma Gaming were eyeing after. And with that down the drain, what says their brain? With that man disadvantage, it's going to be a little harder. If it is, after all, the ace site that Kingsmen are going to commit to, there is a two-man stack here, and RVK playing very close to the smoke. The double peek, there was no way he could try and fight out of that mess. Ivan, beautiful execution, beautiful entry. And this is just sent Enigma back into the hills. They're going to go back to the seaside and save that operator and potentially their own lives. Because we've seen the side of Enigma hunt down Kingsmen, right? When they were on the defense. Now, Kingsmen, they might just want to return that favor.
I don't think they'll be opting for it because the thing is, Kingsmen have all 5 members on board. They have not lost a single life. So one thing does suggest that, yeah, they can risk a couple of members. But the more rational opinion in my mind is they can just save all 5 of their guns and, you know, they can go into the next round without buying a lot of stuff. They don't have to buy a lot of guns. They can just buy, like, re-catch up on their utility and stuff, and that should be plenty. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly what they're doing. Well, not for the Doctor. He's right there, and he has been tagged a bit. Kingsmen are still trying to apply the pressure. However, they know it's better not to probe too deep, as you can obviously fly too close to the sun. So in this case, well, it's going to be another timeout taken by the rosters. And from what we can witness right now, I think we can realize that both of these teams, they know it's extremely close. I mean, the score suggests that, but it's far more closer than what meets the eye. It's far more closer than just on the surface level with how they're playing. I'm talking not just about Haven, I'm talking about Ascent as well. Because if on a map like Haven, which was chosen by the members of Kingsmen, Enigma are able to maintain a 4-round lead after the first half and then still try and keep a lead right now as well, with, you know, them leading 9-8, I'd say that on Ascent, it's going to be a similar structure as well. So what these teams may be discussing right here isn't just going to be, okay, boys, on Haven right now, you're executing on this bomb site, you're playing like this, let's change up, let's shake this thing up. I think they're talking more in the meta sense of things, and they're talking more in the macro sense of things, as this is going to be a war. I have been saying this, and from the looks of it, this is going to be a war that is going to last ages and ages. The decider may be on the board as well. A very rational part of me says that split may just be seen from both of these teams. So with all that being said and done, the teams have a lot of talk to do, and I think after map number 1, the little break that we'll have, there are going to be big long discussions happening at both the boot camps.
Yeah, and this is a war for a justifiable reason, right? The winner of this war gets to play in the upper bracket finals. That's what the are at war for. The Seekers out early. This enables them to play way faster for information. Excali, though, he anticipates that fast setup, so he peaks at the perfect opportunity. Although Rexianus attempts to get a frag goes down in vain. Now, that Swarm Grenade, if it was any other agent except for the Jet, that would have been an issue there. The fact that Nompu can dash back and play with his teammates is crucial. This retake, they have the Seekers on the side of Excali. They have a good idea as to what the setup is looking like, both towards garage and mid-window. Raw fuel on top of the server, though. He could cause mayhem. The second
he does.
He saves the tailwind, and he's looking for more. He gets them all. ZQ on the back lines is discovered. And this is why you save that gun. 10-8, double digits on the side of Enigma. Holy hell.
This could have very well been Kingsman round. However, raw fuel just wide swinging through the nebula, and no one was able to expect that. As again, yeah, whenever you swing from the smoke, the opponents, they do know kind of sort of where you are, but they really have to still flick towards you. And raw fuel, he capitalized off that. Currently, the only person in the server to have more than 20 kills. His closest composition is going to be his arch nemesis Nomfu at the moment, sitting at 18 kills and 10 deaths. The Jets, the head-to-heads, they're popping off. That is why we highlighted both these players in the pre-match presentation as well. But now they have to do their own highlighting. They have to make that reel for themselves. They have to put up the plays. As a matter of fact, well, they already have been right there from round number 1, and moving on to round number 19. It's going to be the Doctor getting the opening kill onto RVK. So Enigma, without your Sentinel, especially the Sentinel who had her Killjoy lockdown available to her, this retake may just not look as potent as it could have been. Excali though, he realizes the Ultra is there. I think it has spotted Excali. Yeah, Riza is going for those exact shock darts. He'll go for the second one as well. Kali has been tagged. Riza falls back. And Kingsmen, they're looking to attack on A. And the execute is right here.
Yep, the tailwind in towards the side. There is the recon though from the side of Rexy. Could line up a little bit of utility, although Zeke quick to take him to his grave. The man-less advantage now for Enigma. They have that operator and they're relying on it for success. Nomfu gets taken down to his grave. This equalizes the number and gives Enigma that chance, but look at their rotations. It's so late that it's giving this plant and post-plant so much more power. Raw fuel, it's traded out for a rifle. They've committed that astral wall, and now with the gravity well, it's isolation of angles essentially. They go to clear the close right, but little do they know that's not the right play. Zeke and Ivan close things out. And I'm really interested to hear the calls now from Enigma in that specific round. They knew that the hits towards A. They even got that frag, but the rotations being so delayed, time was a very big factor there, which did not give them any sense of comfort.
There's one, I think that I can kind of understand what Enigma were thinking. Okay, Rafael was on Haven, and he was the one fighting. He was the first person that, you know, in the aftermath of everything, Kingsman got to know in the 3 versus 3. Then what happened in Enigma's mind was, okay, if he's Haven, if he's in Heaven, you know, there can be someone to the extreme right, and he can be holding a crossfire since there was one right under Heaven on those boxes. And that's why the Nova went there, that's why the Prefire went there. I know it's a very small thing, but I think I can realize what Enigma's mind was thinking. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't the right call, and it ended up costing them multiple kills. Right now as well, already the first kill costs Enigma with a second to follow. Evan goes insane. That's the double headshot. That's the spike planted. And now, with the neural theft as well being used up, being utilized by the members of Kingsmen, I do not think there's a way they can lose this round. They're looking far too strong. The Cosmic Divide aiding them, as a matter of fact. All the members, it's helping them. And no one from Enigma can break through without the information being given away. As Rafuel as well, he has been spotted by the Recon Bolt. The Doctor with the backstab. Rexy with the classic. He's trying. This is not a strong buy from Enigma. However, this is a big defeat. Flawless round right there. 4K for the Sky.
And Ivan is again so much closer to his Seekers, right? I mean, he has a Seekers up. If I'm not mistaken, I think 2 to 3 rounds ago, he just used the Seekers. This is a big stuff, dude. They're giving frags to agents which you should not. You know? Whew, 10 to 10. If this was an oven, I'd understand the heat. But which one of these teams now are going to take that advantage, which is going to be so much more crucial in the overall context of things? There is that operator investment yet again from the side of Rafuel. It hasn't paid off dividends. That's the only issue. Immediately they call in the lockdown and the Hunter's Fury to destroy it. The tag on RVK, and he's still able to hold his ground. The attack, it's fallen flat on the back of Flat's crossfire. This is just gonna be a hard play unless Zeke comes in at the perfect time, which he does. 2 members honed in on his position, and Zeke just continues to buy time as the rotation goes all the way around A. The only question is, Rafuel
shutting off the defense.
Look at this angle. He needs to deliver. He needs to come alive. Falls back in the nick of time. This 2 versus 4. Zeke, his positioning allows the rotation back in towards B. RVK, he's been taken down. A slither of HP between Excali and Zeke makes this one even slightly more doable by Kingsman. But mind you, it's still gonna be that upward battle considering their man deficit. And Excali's position, isolated. Riza, HP so low. both the players of Kingsmen are a kiss away from death. And right now, Antidote, he's coming like a darn Disney movie.
Right. Usually, doesn't the princess wake up after the... never mind. Okay, but, well, right now, there's one thing extremely smart from the side of Kingsmen. Unfortunately for them, they did not anticipate Rafael on A long right here, holding this angle. Look at this beautiful slow-mo right there. But Zeke, not only was he, distracting the members of Kingsmen, the bigger thing was he was stopping the rotations from happening from B. That's why he was there as well. He was stopping those rotations. He essentially forced 3 members of Enigma to stay on the C-bomb side, as 2 of his own teammates went on over to A. Because of those rotations that was stopped, it could have been far better for Kingsmen and an excellent post plan which could have worked in their favor. However, again, unbeknownst to them, Rafael was right there with the operator, so the situational awareness has not been lost on the side of Enigma. They were very well aware of that, and it did work out in their favor. Great round right there, and a great double kill from Antidote to secure things off as Nomfu. Oh, brilliant shock dart right there from Rexy. Excellent stuff. Puts Nomfu down to 60 HP, no armor. That is not the thing that Enigma members would have, Kingsmen members would have wanted. Enigma, this is best case scenario. On attack, your opposition's jet is gone. However, on the C-bomb side, well, there's every single defender's gone. There's no one here.
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure how they were able to get past. If I'm not mistaken, that's an alarm bot setup. Could have been some brilliant utility, but that's a story for later on. This puts Enigma in an uncomfortable position. If they do not commit to this retake, they're essentially giving away that equalizer, which they fought so hard. Oh my goodness, big frag. Nomfu, he was tagged from the get-go. They're trying to eliminate one aspect of the backlines, but I'm not sure if they're gonna expect Ivan. Rexy, heads up play. Oh goodness, he takes the heads off Ivan. The 3 versus 4. What started off really good for Kingsmen, now turning into a nightmare. The recon kind of gives away the setup. They're able to try and eliminate one by one. Oh my god!
Rexy stuck it
through the wall like it's the darn FBI coming through your office.
Rexy was trying to stick it. That was unfortunate, but then again, with how the situation was shaping up to be, no one can really mind him. The recon bolt not getting destroyed and getting that one round of revealing everyone's location, that was the undoing of Enigma right there. Had it been destroyed, Enigma may have just won the round because, Kingsmen would not have been aware. The cosmic divide was still there. They didn't have too many sound cues as to where exactly the bullets were coming from. The proximity didn't help either. However, the recon bolt surely did. This is why you keep your Sovas on board. This is why the Sova is the backbone of every composition. But right now, Enigma, they've lost their backs. And they're just trying to push in with these pistols. Rafael will be good for one. However, he cannot retrieve the rifle. Now, the members of Kingsmen, they know Enigma are on a far, far weaker buy. This can be potential match point for their side if they play their cards right. Rafael spending more of those credits as... Okay. Oh, that was a Vandal dump. And he'll retrieve the gun from his teammate. Smart play right there from Kingsman. But they still have to execute and win this potential golden ticket that they have into securing overtime.
Yeah. It's gonna be Enigma hoping that they get a good timing on this peak. And Antidote ain't able to find it. The man disadvantage as Antidote finds that bullet to his head. And now... they find an avenue into the site. They're gonna flood through garage and hit C where RVK lies in wait. I'm not sure if his position is transmitted, but a delightful headshot with that sheriff. Still a 2 versus 3 though. And if I'm not mistaken, there is an opportunity for Enigma to pull this one back. Excali has that Marshall. This gun is lethal. And Ivan, he falls prey to that trap. A 2 versus 2, it's boiling down to a 1 versus 1 every single time of asking the Seekers a beautiful distraction. And Rafael knows exactly where the Doctor is playing from, but he does not understand how the Doctor is going to play this one out. Rafael finally commits on the swing, and the Doctor was patient with his patient. Performs a clinical cut, a dissection of hope. And he puts in deception. That last moment play with that recon has put Kingsmen at map point. When it looked like Enigma wanted Haven in their back pocket. it just got snatched away from them. This is
Now, okay, one thing I have to highlight, OG, in this round. It's not the credit economy, that's still fine, 5 rifles, full armors, but the ult economy. Kingsmen, they've got 3 ultimates. Enigma have none. Non-kill, what was he trying to do?
Oh my god!
Raw Fuel gets it. Okay, Zeke, Raw Fuel, before dying, he got a 3rd kill. In the first 12 seconds of the action phase, Raw Fuel has dispatched 3 members of Kingsmen just from this one push. The Hunter's Fury didn't affect him. Nothing affected him. Cold veins right there. Ice through his veins. And right now, Enigma Gaming, well, they're looking to be the opposite. They are on fire with how they're playing. Kingsmen, they've been backed off into this corner. Quite literally, the doctors into this corner. Are they trying to sell the fake? Because if they are, there's that one member from Enigma. You know, there is the backstab being watched by Sky. And that may be the undoing of Kingsmen. Or they can push from A-shot as well. However, now they'll be encountering Killjoy utility that has been placed by RVK. He's also right here. The nanoswarms are also present. Kingsmen have got a fallback. They've got 45 seconds to play. But like I've been saying about the Sky, Excali, the angle he has, the information he can gather, it can be vital. The doctor, is he going to check this angle?
Oh no, the almost came in. Now it's on to result.
Down mid.
1 versus 2.
30 seconds left.
It's for all the marbles or we're going OT. Rotation coming in. All the way towards the B side. That recon used to punish aggression. Reese's gonna have the opportunity to even set up for a small window in that post plant, and he's heading into garage where there is a potential for him to go all the way around the world. He's gonna isolate this fight through CT though. He's not 100% sure of Antidote's position, and this is overtime, ladies and gentlemen. If you thought the first game is gonna get over really quick, well, neither Enigma or Kingsman want to be gentlemen about this. It's shirts off and it's a face off.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Now, at this point, yeah, overtime. Okay, the one prediction I can ask OGU is how long? Is this going to be triple overtime, quad, penta, hexa? How many are you thinking? What's going to be the final score? For me, I think this is going to very easily reach triple overtime.
1 overtime, bro.
Oh,
1 overtime.
okay.
That's what I'm expecting. The one reason I say that is there's not going to be that operator present, right? Which means it's only going to be gun deals throughout the entire.
I mean, Nomfu has gone for that.
Nomfu's gone for that glass cannon op.
Yep.
All right. Boy, I'm having a little bit of discomfort right now. I'm not feeling this glass cannon op whatsoever. With the way Enigma have been playing a little more patiently throughout that mid round, information is what Enigma are playing for, right? With the glass cannon operator, you're going to rely on misinformation and the element of surprise to get a frag and tailwind out, which hasn't been the case. Enigma hasn't been offering themselves as free frags whatsoever, right?
Right.
So it's going to be harder. And I feel like if Enigma are able to close out this round in the attack, their defense, sure, there have been multiple holes in it. There also have been moments where it's held strong. This is their chance. And this is the gamble that Kingsmen are taking. If it hits any position where the retake is upon them, with the side of Kingsmen having Nomfu still up, that operator on the retake becomes more of a liability than an asset. It's only about how Enigma discover there's an op, right? Either they're gonna get a body taken out, or maybe the recon will help them to avoid this kind of a mess.
I think Enigma can go for like using utility, I think Enigma can go for a far more passive route. Like what we were seeing in the first half, especially Rafuel in his Cloudburst right now. What they were doing was just Cloudburst A long and Rafuel shoulder peeks that. Then if there's like imminent danger that he may die to the operator that Nomfu's pushing through, he just tailwinds back safe and sound. Yeah, sure, he loses his tailwind, but the info's there that Jet with an operator is playing on A long, and since B and C are Jet free, we can try and execute there if that is our fancy. But other than that, the operator is going to be viable because, yeah, you've got 9 rifles on board. That's pretty much regular stuff. You know, all we can do is like compare kills and stuff. But yeah, in overtime, it's not just about your past performances. It's about how you're taking the pressure in the moment. And right now, the members of Enigma, they're still looking to execute the operator. Well, now everyone in the server is aware of that if they already weren't. They go through, the operator shot. And now Enigma have pushed up Rafuel,
No.
holding this extreme
No
angle.
one knows.
Nomfu's aware. Again, the tailwind can work out. The flash can go through as well. He
Oh
peeks.
my God, what?
Nomfu misses. How is that possible? Rafuel's
Nothing's
there.
spot on.
This can be the tipping point for the side of Enigma in their favor.
How was that not a kill? Right? Please explain. I'm pretty sure he did fire a bullet out that chamber.
Uh-huh.
Well, one thing for sure is they know Rafuel is still present towards long. That flash gave them info. A little bit of presence shown towards C long. Zeke has been very patient and so has RBK. Spotted the trip, RBK. Gonna quickly make his way back. He's also looking out for a push from Garage as well, so just trying to bait it out perhaps. Zeke. To hold the other off angle and RBK delivers him to his grave. Doctor, he needs to make sure that he's able to hold this attack on two fronts. The flash deters him just a little. RBK though goes down. Instant trade, 2 versus 4. How do Kingsmen pull this back? Recon
10
destroyed.
seconds left.
Reza,
Spike planted.
the only reason why Kingsman got on to overtime. Is he able to pull up brilliance again? No, he isn't. The dog, it can't do anything in terms of information. Ivan, he's gonna be taken down as soon as he shows face because he's walking into a firing squad, and that's map point on the side of Enigma.
Match point.
I have a really interesting question, CCB, but your answer to this is crucial. Do you think
Right.
that in a game like Valorant, there needs to be 2 rounds on each for overtime, or is 1 round enough? I feel like with 2 rounds on each side, it makes this far more spicy. 2 rounds on the attack, 2 rounds on the defense, where you might start with, let's say, 9,000.
Uh-huh.
The max money you
okay,
have.
so carryover economy and carryover ultimate points as well. Does make sense. But Valorant to me feels a lot more like fast paced, and I think that can be I don't know. It's an interesting thought. Maybe we'll discuss this after the match is over, potentially before the next map starts as well. As right now, I think everyone has their eyes locked on the minimap. No casualties, no gunfights, no initiation taken up any one of these 10 members. As of now, though, that's the thing. Because now, with this alarm bot revealing the location of at the very least one member on the side of Kingsmen, they've got to fall back, and now they're falling back. Enigma are still aware, they're not moving a bit. Excali pushing through Garage, this can be vital, but Excali backs off. Yeah, he knows it's better not to. He still peeks. Okay, this is a tad too risky. He gets lit up a bit, down to like 60 HP or something. Kingsmen are aware of the sky right there, but I think Kingsmen know all over what the play is. This one from Enigma, the recon bolt as well has been destroyed immediately. Fit 40 seconds on the clock. The execute has got to happen right now. Antidote is right there. The Nebula goes through. He's got to hold the angle. He's got to get a couple more kills. Nomfum in the cheeky little spot. He plants the spike. It is now converted into a post-plant scenario. The first kill goes in favor of Enigma. They are still maintaining side control, but not anymore. When Antidote being gone off the board, the members of Enigma have to push through. Nomfu is trying to hold them at bay, but he has been overwhelmed. And now, all 3 attackers outside the bomb site, they have to use their utility. They need information. They are peeking corners. Ivan still waiting for that brilliant headshot, but Rafuel strikes back. So does RVK. It's all down to Zeke to open multiple members, and Enigma, they will be the ones taking the map of Haven.
Wow. I told you, man, 1 overtime, that's all they needed. And that's all they're gonna give.
That's true. That is
Kingsman. 14-12. Enigma, after the round where they lost it on the C site, a 3v4, I was almost done. I was like, nah, this ain't happening.
true.
They managed to pull it back. And it's very important that they have that composure, right? That's what's required. And that's what they got. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I like the fact that Antidote and the rest of the gang are able to just smile it out and able to relax. Because right now, the battle might be over, but the war has just started to get heated up.
Absolutely. So, I mean, right now, Ascent is still there. One major thing though, Enigma have defeated the members of Kingsmen on Haven, a map that they chose. and Enigma are now going to go on their own pick of Ascent. One thing this does tell us is for Enigma as well, it's a pretty strong map Haven is. Maybe what happened was, since the members of Kingsmen already chose Haven, Enigma were like, let's take our second best, let's take up Ascent since we don't have the choice of Haven, since they've already opted it for us, good for us. Let's go on Ascent. But Ascent as well, it is shrouded in mystery and then Split. If Ascent, I'm saying, is shrouded in mystery, Split hasn't even been unlocked. It's like one of those game characters you have to be level 100 to unlock. And in this case, in order for us to reach 100, 100 miles an hour, Kingsmen have got to win map number 2, and then we'll go on to Decider. But for now, it's still going to be talks about Haven, about what we have witnessed, because there were several instances where the teams were looking very well, but there were several instances as well where they just missed out on things. The highlight reel, it encompasses everything under the belt. Good plays, bad plays, executes, defusals, retakes. So having a look at the match highlights so far, starting off with the pistol round already, Kingsmen were on the get-go, but the first half was a sweet and a really clean sweep takeover from the side of EG.
Yeah, it also felt like Kingsmen were a little absent in that first half, right? They lost a couple of crucial rounds and they ended it an 8-4 with them being on the back foot. You can only question as to how this map would have turned out if Kingsmen were a little more potent on their defense. Their offense, it looked really, really nice. On a lot of occasions, they made very, very difficult calls. For example, the call on the back of that Astral Divide, group up like that, play that one together. They played it textbook, but it was also a very hard situation which required you to not only win out your gunfights, but also make that correct call in the correct timing. Talking about plays, yeah, this clutch. Enigma are going to be a little sad that they gave this one away, but at the overall bigger context of things, they won this map. Small things that they can rectify throughout the course of this tournament, and small things will lead to big changes, proven by this map, proven by the fact that this went overtime.
True. And this big win, really, I mean, it is a big mental win as well. We've been talking about that through and through, because these teams facing off against each other for one of the very few times, if not the first time, they weren't really sure what they were getting into. Now that they have tasted, the blood of their opponents, now that they've tasted victory and defeat to a certain extent for both of the rosters, they know how to play cautiously. They know how to play better, more efficiently against their current opponents right now. It may not be their usual strategy, however, unusuality may lead to good and better results, as right now, we are just seeing round after round, back and forth and back and forth. But this point forward, Enigma just started winning. From a 4-5, they went to a 4-8. Those 3 rounds, they were just so helpful. And yet again, towards the end as well, had it been a 7-5, we may not have seen a 12-12 at all. Perhaps Kingsmen would have gone in the lead and they could have etched out the map for themselves even before overtime hit the corner. So because Enigma had that buffer period, because they had a couple of extra rounds, they could maybe afford to lose a few rounds in the second half, and that still allowed them enough resources and enough time to go into overtime.
Yeah, the fact that this went to overtime in and of itself is somewhat of a miracle. With both Enigma and Kingsman pulling off godlike plays. That's a beautiful double. For the most part, on the attack, Kingsman, after they get to the post plant, that's when their confidence really starts to shine. But the hope that in map 2, it doesn't require them to have that much setup for them to find success. A lot of times, Enigma, they pick and prod throughout their defense, and raw fuel have to give it to this man. Half the reason Enigma won today, raw fuel's raw firepower, and without a doubt, their chemistry and teamwork also coming in light.
everything just shine brightly right now. And coordination as well, like you just mentioned, yeah, everything was, I wouldn't say pixel perfect, but it was good enough to defeat Kingsman, and that is a high standard to hit. And the fact that Enigma are already, have passed the bar with regards to that speaks a lot. This round though, yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick by my point. That recon bolt was the undoing of the AG roster. Had that recon bolt not tagged the members of Enigma, it could have gone their way. It should have been an Enigma win. They should have been the ones getting that match point earlier. However, Kingsman still did, but then mistakes from Kingsman could be witnessed as well. Rafiel with a triple, and then he got traded out. The Hunter Sphere as well didn't really do much damage, and this round was just not good from Kingsman. The fact that Nongfu blindly pushed into A-Long when everyone in the server and so many in the audience members as well knew that members of both the rosters play on A-Long, that was just not the best play. However, there were so many plays from this one man, the match MVP Raw Fuel. They are too many to count. 32 kills. Average damage 230? I'm sorry, 230. That is now well over 1.5 members. Like, even with full armor, 1.5 members dying like round after round. Average combat score 332. OG, this is a tier 1 Valorant match going into overtime. And Rafuel is maintaining statistics like these. This is not a Curbstorm 13-0 Radiance versus Silvers. These are Radiance up against Radiance, the best in their specific countries as well against each other. And Rafuel still puts up a showing such as this.
32 kills. Man's popping off. And just to paint a picture, the closest, yeah, let's look at the scoreboard as well, because that's going to be crucial, right? The closest member to him in his team is Rexy, 18 kills. That is the deficit our man's put. 14 kills. Now, the deficit he has alone is equivalent to the kill that Zeke has. Yeah.
Says a lot. True.
Says a boatload. And, the doctor, he performed phenomenally well on the Astra. A lot of clutch plays. He seems to always be the one in control on the side of Kingsman. I just hope that on the next time of asking, Nomfu really comes alive, especially in that overtime round where he did not land that shot with the operator.
That is true.
Dearly.
That was just unfortunate right there, regardless of what happened, whether it was a hitbox issue, just plain missing, maybe it was an accuracy. Whatever happened, it's happened. Now it's done. There's no point talking about it. There's no point going over it. What could have happened, as the saying goes, could have, would have, should have happened. No. All that's done and dusted, all that's in the past. As of now, we have Ascent to look forward to, potentially Split as well. We are talking about these maps. Let's have a look at the map recap as well, because we just got done with Haven. Map number 1 is done, 14-12, victory for Enigma. And a thing and the text that reads right at the top, picked by Kingsmen. It was their map choice. And the fact that they lost right here speaks a lot. But then again, like I said, it's not like for Enigma as well, it's a bad map or anything. It's one of their best. And now we will be going to a strong pick for both of the teams. I'm not going to lie, Ascent still, to me, feels like both of the teams are going to perform similar. And for that very reason, while we were seeing those timeouts, I was talking about this because the teams already know the sheer caliber of their opposition, the monstrosity that they have in their rosters, the kills that they can get. Ascent is going to be no easy. However, to reach Ascent, we must wait a bit. So everyone watching, in this short little break, make sure you catch all the advertisements. Go down below in the description if any product catches your fancy. Make sure to grab refreshments, because this to me feels like it's going to be a long best of 3. And then we have another set of BO3 as well later on here, the Zotac Cup. For now, enjoy this break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You are watching the Zotac Cup powered by NVIDIA GeForce Crucial, LG Ultragear, and Corsair. I'm CCV John alongside OG Dolores Chicken, and we are bringing to you the main event, upper brackets, the second round, the semi-finals of these upper brackets. And I have to say that so far, how both of these rosters have been shaping up, Enigma up against Kingsmen, it is really exciting stuff because already map number 1 went to overtime.
So we have the map pool in front of us now. It's Haven that's already been closed out by the side of Enigma, right? Ascent, a map where we've seen both Enigma and Kingsman perform miracles. Kingsman, they won one of the most important matchup in their entire matchup for the Zotac Cup, where they sent full sense packing through the lower bracket, which I sound a little crazy saying myself, so I don't blame you if anybody in the audience calls me out on it. Now
Mhm.
we've seen Haven go the way of Enigma, right? Another map which the side of Kingsman used to send full sense back to the lower bracket. If Enigma are able to make a 14-12 happen on this kind of a map, this is gonna be a statement for both Velocity and Global Esports, saying there's a bigger dog running in their circuit.
Absolutely so right now. Yeah, Enigma can absolutely prove themselves. And the thing is, we may potentially even like there's a highly unlikely chance, but we may just see Enigma versus Velocity already here, the Zotac Cup as well. Unfortunate for Global Esports, they could not participate. They would have also had a similar run. We would have been seeing the best teams from South Asia as well, but already we are seeing the best teams from South Asia. Now that everything has been cleared off, after all the technical issue that just happened, again, apologies to everyone. I'm sure OG must have addressed it, but now we are back. And the good thing is, the players, they are not facing anything. The players are still ready. Very, very soon we can jump into Ascent as well, because that is the bigger priority right now. These players, they are ready to jump into the server to, select their compositions, which I think the compositions may be quite similar. And looking at Ascent as well, I think from the likes of Kingsman, I am very, very sure that they may just repeat the comp that they were playing right now on the map of Haven. We may see yet again double initiator, Sova, and Sky. From the side of Enigma, things can be interesting. We will absolutely be seeing Rofuel on the jet. There is no denying that. If Rofuel got 32 kills out of 26 rounds in the first map, I don't think he'll be playing anything else, much like always. But the other roster, I think Enigma will also be attempting something similar. They'll also be looking for double initiators, Sova, and maybe a breach, but potentially Sky. The only difference in my eyes is going to be, again, Zeke versus RVK. Zeke on the Cypher usually, and then RVK prefers the Killjoy. Other than those two players and their agents, I think it'll all be pretty similar.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. This is a map where we might get to see that occasional KO, but it's been very phased out lately. We might get to see that difference in initiator. Sova is very staple on this map, right? Sova and
Right.
Ascent go hand in hand. So It's essentially the matter of, are they gonna pick Sky or are they gonna pick something like a KO or even a Breach? We've been seeing quite a bit of that today. Yeah, it's gonna come down to things like that. Considering the last game was in overtime and we had that discussion going on, what do you think would have happened if we had a different kind of overtime where it was 2 rounds on each side CCV? Do you think that would spice things up? Because I feel like that's so much more important in the grander scheme of things to decide who's gonna be a winner of a crucial matchup.
That is true. But to an extent that like lengthens overtime a bit as well, because overtimes are supposed to be quick deciders. They're like, like a deuce in tennis. They're not very long. However, if overtime goes to two sides each, then the entire like one round of overtime becomes 4 rounds. That's one third of the entire half. That's one third of a half. That to me, it becomes a bit too long. But then if you bring up the argument, if you find middle ground, like 3 rounds, then comes the attack versus defense issue. And all that being said and done, I think overtime is fine where it's at, because 4 rounds then lead into the, you have to win 3 rounds out of those four. And it's not really just, I can't really put it to good use. Like one can't really decide how a team is gonna win, because say there are 2 rounds, like, and then the side swap happens. So if team A wins the initial 2 rounds, technically if they win the third, they've won the majority of the overtime, right? That's that. But then one can make the argument that okay, if they win three, like if they don't win three and then the opposition wins the fourth, it's like it's still 2-2. There's no decisive way unless you win like the initial 3 rounds. There's never going to be a decisive way at all. So it just lengthens things. That's why Valorant, with it being so fast paced, I think it's fine with one overtime each. Yeah, the one factor I don't like is the economy, the credit economy, and the alt economy resetting after the
Yeah.
side swap. That to me is like, yeah, it does ache me. I'm not going to lie. I have to agree with you on that one. But other than that, I think overtime is fine as it is. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that overtime was not fine for
Oh,
Kingsmen as they did
true.
force their way back. Right, it was a very valiant effort because it towards the end game there felt like Enigma were gonna close things off straight off the bat. It was what 11-9 kind of score. They managed to pull it back to 10. That recon round came in. It came close to the wire. Then they managed to push it overtime. So very dicey situations. And Ascent, I'm expecting something to be somewhat similar. It's going to come down to the wire because we know both teams are more than comfortable playing this matchup, right?
Right.
So it's going to come down to the finer details, like how it did in map one. Otherwise, I'm expecting this to go three ways. All the way to split. I also have a good
Good.
feeling that this is going to be the last map, though. A very split in my mind.
Yeah, right now, I mean, you've laid out both the possibilities right here. I really don't know what to reply. You've said either it's going to be decider or it's going to be end, which, well, those are the two possibilities. So, with all that being said and done, I'm really looking forward to seeing Ascend. The agent selection is now upon us, and already, yeah, the two jets have locked or loaded. Nomfu's there, Orfuel's there, similar performances, and exactly what I was talking about. I think it's going to be Mirrorcom, and the one difference I was mentioning earlier, Zeke versus RVK, that is going to be the only difference. So, mirror compositions from both the rosters, exactly what they were playing on Haven as well, unless the Doctor wants to do something different. But I think Astra, she's a pretty staple agent of this map, so I don't think that'll be changing anytime soon.
For
And
sure.
with all that being said and done, the agent selection very, very predictable from both the teams. But just because it's predictable doesn't mean it's bad. It's predictable for a reason, because these comms have been working for the rosters, and now we'll be seeing them play again, albeit on a different map.
Yeah, classics are called classics for a reason, right? It's not because everybody plays them, but it's because it works most of the time. And that's very crucial here. Both these teams have picked up characters which both facilitate raw fuel and Numfu, the respective jet of either team. We will get to see that jet go head to head again. Last time around, it was just raw fuel winning out those fights 6 times out of 7 in a week, right? Now
Right.
we get a chance to reset that stat. I hope that for the sake of Kingsmen, they've come ready. With the way they have started the tournament off, it would be a shame with them going down to the lower bracket in a 2-0. This has to be Kingsmen forcing out Split, in my opinion. Otherwise, it wouldn't do justice to this matchup.
True. Yeah, I mean, considering Kingsman defeated Full Sense in that best of three, that was a long best of three right there. And Kingsmen taking the win, it was of the absolute necessity to move on. But now if they lose to Enigma, if they go back down into the lower brackets, the problem is that BO3, because they'll be in the lower brackets, they may face off against Full Sense again after all, and the revenge journey may start for FS. But right now, the members of Kingsmen, they'll be facing off against Enigma. So let's jump into the pistol round. Round number 1 is going to be starting. It's going to be the side of Kingsmen on defense. Enigma will be the ones on attack. And as we can see right now, we've talked about the compositions. Now it's time to talk about the play styles. It's time to talk about how these teams want to engage in gunfights and where exactly do they want to engage them in. Plenty of firepower towards A main. Already a guiding light has been thrown from Ivan right there. Flashes Excalibur for a brief second, and now he's back to normal. So with not a lot happening right now, Jet versus Jet may happen very soon here on mid already. Bullets are being traded off. No damage has been traded off. So that's still fine for both these sides. And Nomfu, he just jump spots Raw Fuel and he sees him falling back. And Enigma, they're still ready for some sort of an attack. But they have to kill defenders in order to do that.
Yeah. They are gonna try and pose a small threat from Garden while the rest of the members come in from short. A split, and it's the doctor who needs to perform a surgical mission. Well, he's successful only for a short time with his
Spike down
teammates.
A.
The 2 versus 3, the numbers go the favor of Kingsman. This lurk from RVK. He's been on the lurk ever since map 1. Riza expects it, spots it. Now information
One
relayed.
enemy
Pressure on RVK, not able to deliver. 1 versus 3 required of Raw Fuel. Who's dealt, but 1-0. And that read from Kingsman was on point. They knew exactly what was coming their way. They knew how to deal with this A short split. The aggression from the Heaven was just delightful. 2 taps, and that essentially secured the man advantage, which they played so passive on the back of. RVK, his play almost became transparent as there was no aggression coming in from the front lines.
Yeah. Now, quite interesting from Kingsman. Okay, we are seeing one Ares. Enigma, I'd say, they're also investing a bit of their credits in the Sheriff's upgraded pistols. But this one Ares and the recon bolt, Riza knows what he has to do. RVK, his location is known. He peeks. Great headshot right there. Exactly what I had been talking about. RVK Sheriff called. But now, Riza, he takes his life away. Gods may not die, but they certainly have been put down as Antidote and Excali meet the same fate as RVK. And now Enigma, yet again, I get it's their anti-eco. They should be looking for a couple more kills. Raw-Fuel, he can swing wide if he wants to. He dashes away. Ivan is still holding the angle. Now, Raw-Fuel with that shot. Excellent stuff with the Doctor. He's still here. He's already gotten multiple kills. Now he's looking for more. Right here on A main. He spots one, gets one shot. That's the third. 13 bullets. 8 now. Rexy's pushing through. And that is going to be the third 4K the Doctor has gotten so far in this BO3. 3 4Ks. That is just too uncanny.
2 points away from that astral wall. 2-0 as well. A nice round coming in from Kingsman. Although this is going to be the turn that Enigma get to bring in the heat. They have themselves their Vandals. They have themselves the utility that they need to take some of these fights. I'm interested that it's not much that they're going to throw at mid this round. They're expecting main aggression to some extent. Raw-Fuel dodging a couple of utility coming his way. No food aggression expected, and Cali delivers the double headshot. Raw-Fuel, you gotta hope that he ain't gonna be spammed down Oblivion. 30 HP is all that's left on Excali, and he's the only member who can heal, but not himself. Antidote gonna be on the entry, but he eats the worst end of that Ares, who's just gonna be holding that angle. The Doctor has no chill as he brings in the Plague. The alarm bot from RVK allows him to play very cocky towards Hell. And the aggression from Zeke discovered Raw-Fuel. Easy headshot going his way. RVK though, gonna fall back. The Ares, is it gonna do God's work now is the question. Holding the angle from long. Raw-Fuel not gonna swing to the peak just yet. He's gonna play this one on the back of information and teamwork. Gets that headshot and gets the first round on the board for Enigma. Raw-Fuel though, big stuff coming in from him. Alongside the double coming in from the side of Excali, these are plays that we do not simply expect. We expect the side of Kingsmen to play that smart and trade it, but ain't gonna be the case, son.
Now, I mean, that round could have been worse for the side of India. I mean, could have been better, sorry, because the doctor getting those double on A main, that really wasn't granted. You know, RVK, the two members on A main from Enigma could have waited for RVK to push through the smoke and then had a triple peak altogether. And then that would have minimalized the casualties. Instead of two, maybe only one person would have died. But yeah, unfortunate for the side of Enigma. They still won the round though, so it's not all too bad. As now they're looking for a B take, but they're three members of Kingsmen with upgraded pistols right here. However, the backstab comes in from Market. Raw Fuel is right there alongside Excali. They are present. They may be looking for kills. However, Gnome with the opening kill. Now, Raw Fuel is dashing in. Zeke! Double headshot for him. Excali, Anti, both are gone. Now this Jet remains, and this Jet can deal damage. Rexy will be pushing in from main. No, Rexy also falls. It's all down to Raw Fuel. This is a thrifty round. The barrel of his gun has been spotted. He's got the Blade Storm, but already doesn't have a lot of abilities. He peeks wide. That's going to be another headshot. But the Doctor yet again finishes things off. Kingsman, it wasn't a thrifty, but rather, again, it wasn't the strongest buy. 3 upgraded pistols led to their third.
What kind of rounds are we getting to see, man? This is a very, very awkward game of Ascent, where no side essentially gets comfort. You might have everything going your way. You might have the guns. You might have the funds. Doesn't mean you'll get the round. You have that Blade Storm up on either side, so Raw Fuel,
Get out of my way.
all eyes gonna be on him now. If he's gonna be able to make some kind of magic, Nomfu with the operator. He wants to make up for what he lost in Haven. He lost the operator, he lost a couple of crucial rounds. Now, with the sneak attack from Enigma, they're not going to be able to sneak past the defense that easy though. The right click.
Oh my
More than enough to
God.
secure that kill. A very smart play as it gives him a
the
weapon
Odin.
to play aggressive. And now the shutdown mission from KGM. The Sova, when he wields that shotgun, it looks a little more
That
scary.
was a good bait.
That was a
good
nice
bait.
bait and switch. Nomfu. Rounds like these are very crucial for your confidence, right? Getting
Yeah.
pickoffs, getting these kills gives a little bit of a more pleasant experience as Nomfu looks to redeem himself. 4-1. Redemption more than done for the side of Kingsman. Their early side of the first half secured as Enigma now call a timeout. I like the fact that they used now to call a timeout. Even throughout the journey that both of us have witnessed in the Zotac Cup, we've seen so many teams call this timeout way too late. It's good to see them call it at a moment where things are rectifiable. There's more than enough room for them to improvise and adapt on this attack. And they know how crucial the first half is, considering the way it went for Kingsmen in Haven and how much it costed them. If they don't make amends now, it's going to be too little too late. And it's good that they're falling on the path of discipline and teamwork, as that's what they're looking to figure out.
They have to. They've got to figure out this. They've got to figure out a way to regain that confidence. It's not always just going to be about discipline. I mean, sure, yeah, the players have to abide by it and adhere to it at all times. Make sure they do not go for all out just dumb plays in general and very, very risky plays. This is not a moment to take a lot of risk. I mean, neither one of these teams are in that desperate of a situation. All of these members can still attempt to play safe and sound Valorant. The good thing for Kingsmen is everyone is popping off, and right now for Enigma, well, with the exception of Raw Fuel, the entire roster only has 4 kills, and those 4 kills have only happened with RVK and Excali. So Rexy and Anti, they've got to be putting up a bit more. I get it's only been 5 rounds, but still, even after 5 rounds, when you see Rizal like this popping off, and the Odin spam also going through from Zeke, you know that Enigma are in danger. And now more than ever, with the Raw Fuel being the first casualty, OG, I do not think Enigma will be looking to survive in this round for much longer. That is another kill. This was supposed to be the full buy of the attack, but now it has been a full and total shutdown.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a full reset for Enigma as well on the back of the timeout. It seems like whatever Enigma had in plan, Kingsman more than ready to counter it. 3v5. What's the game plan here? The bomb on the back of Rexy. Both Rexy and Antidote 2 points away from their respective ultimates. They're gonna make this commitment towards that ace side. The Hawk. Let's not blind anybody, and the Owl Drone is enough to grab one. How much of this are we gonna see today? Rexy has an idea. He anticipates the aggression. The shock dart pushes them back and does a little bit of damage on a doctor who is more than ready for that peak. Not much time that Angelo could have survived out in the open. Nomfu sends him back into his grave, and that's 5-1 already, man. Quick start for the side of Kingsmen. What we anticipated to be a very close and dicey affair in map 2 hasn't been the case so far, CCV, and that's just been due to the fact that Kingsmen are a step ahead and are shutting down this kind of aggression in uncharacteristic ways. The round prior, it was on the back of the aggression that they posed through a short. Now, what do they do? What do they do different, Enigma? They have themselves a very, very scrappy buy, and that's all that they can put together.
Blinded.
Damage, maybe that's what they're looking to do. Damage has already been done, though, to their first half and its success.
Now, at the moment, after all this damage has been done, Enigma, how are they looking to recover? They do have the ultimates, but I don't think a lot of them will be spent in this round. Anti is the first one to fall as the controller. It's never too good to be the first casualty, but at this point it doesn't even matter who the agent archetype is who's going down. What matters is the members of Enigma. They're faltering through. Rofil will be good for one with the frenzy, but that's I think all that the members of EG will be getting in this round, as Nomfu with the operator is right here, and then you have Zeke. So the entire A site has been put on lockdown, and there's no way Enigma can break through this. Even if they try, it's going to be extremely difficult. However, because they have to meet the operator, that is exactly why I'm saying it's going to be difficult. Double kill for Nomfu, and that is going to be the 6th for the side of Kingsmen. Every single round, they etch another on board, and they keep on extending their lead. And after a certain time, it may just be evident that Kingsmen have this map under control.
Yeah. It's gonna be maybe 2 to 3 rounds, which Enigma can even afford to give to the other side, because after that it's going to be no redemption. They need a minimum of 3 to 4 rounds to come back on the defense. A minimum. What is the setup? An absolute A hit? With the way Zeke has been playing towards the A side, it looks impregnable. There's no way they make it through without losing a ton of bodies on the entry. The Astral Divide, Seekers, it's all gonna put Zeke under tremendous pressure. He's willing to get a dose of that ultimate, but he's not willing to take a dose of Antidote. 4 versus 5. 2 ultimates committed to get control of the site. How do they hold this? Bladestrom out from Nomfu.
Nebula dissipates.
And he holds this. Oh my god, Rofu! He's able to find that frag. They do get the trade though. And this Hunter's Fury tagging the Doctor. Antidote. He had the angle. He had the play red. The Nebula. It holds them at bay. Mind you, the angle onto his heaven still gives Nomfu a little bit of room to work with. But the Nebula dissipating means RVK is out in the open and looking for him. 2 versus 2. They know that there's at least one player towards long, but they do not anticipate the positioning of Excali, who's won them this round based on positioning.
Can he stay alive? Oh, okay, both of them died. Yeah, so Vandal saved, but a round 1 for Enigma, and after investing so much into the round, I think that's what matters at the end of the day. The only ultimate they have remaining is going to be the Hunter's Fury on the side of Rexy. But other than that, yeah, it's a very necessary round that they finally won. And great for the side of Enigma. It was an excellent execute. The fact that they were able to just, overwhelm Zeke, who was in the bomb side. The Seekers went out. The Cosmic Divide preventing a lot of rotations from happening from the side of Kingsmen. Then again, there was just the other defenders as well trying to destroy the Seekers. We saw for a brief second another member of Kingsmen who destroyed it with the Phantom. But yeah, it was a great execute. Enigma got the win, albeit far closer, like only one person surviving isn't the most optimal. But then again, desperate times call for desperate measures. Whatever win you can get your hands on, you have to get your hands on. Enigma, that round win was absolutely necessary. Now, they're looking to continue the momentum, but in order to do that, they need to win another round. And they do not need, and they cannot give the lead away to Kingsmen, both in terms of the man count lead, with it becoming a 5v4 very soon, and in terms of Kingsmen getting the 7th on board as well.
Yeah. The one thing is, the side of Kingsmen haven't really changed up their setup whatsoever since the get-go.
Nowhere to run!
Have Enigma finally outread them? They used the Hunter's Fury to get the opening. They've tagged 2 players. Although, it's the opening frag going the other way, and the Doctor! How is he able to pull off such moments of brilliance on so many instances where it's been asked of him? Both Kingsmen and the Jet's gonna be healed up. RVK. Mr. Backstab himself. Oh, he knows. Zeke knew exactly what's up.
Flawless.
A heartbreak as well for Enigma. 7-2. The side of KGM don't even need to change their setup. That's the best part. Usually, a trademark of a good team is they'd be swapping around the side from the A side to the B side. They'll be making sure that the Jet gets aggressive through different avenues.
What we saw on Haven, exactly.
Yeah. Here, there's barely any use. I don't think I've seen Zeke play towards the B side except for 1 round, and now they change things up. There we go.
Okay. I still think the biggest factor right now has got to be kills. I mean, the side of Enigma, not really sure what's happened to them. Rawfuel's still popping off, but the Doctor has now taken the lead. 14 kills and 3 deaths. Swan has died thrice in 9 rounds. That's every 3 rounds he's dying once. That sort of survival rate builds up your economy so well. And again, for Rexy, unfortunate, I don't think Rexy will be getting another kill in this round as well. So, the side of Enigma really struggling right now. Rawfuel just misses his Blade Storm, and this is more of a mental struggle for Enigma, I'm not going to lie. This to me feels like they aren't really confident in how they're playing. This to me, it doesn't just speak like strategic prowess from the side of Kingsmen. They are in a far more better mentality. And no matter what is affecting Enigma, they better get rid of it soon enough. Because if they don't, this is something that travels over in esports players on other maps as well. This may be haunting Enigma on Split. Because right now, this is just a horror story. And Kingsmen are just hunting down Enigma. Whether it be a suburban house, whether it be a forest, the ghost never leaves them and the Odin never stops.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be showing any signs of dying. What seems to have signs of dying is Enigma, though. Their hopes are dying in the first half. Reminiscent of how it was in map 1 with Kingsmen, right? They had to pull off an 8-4 half to try and come back with that scoreline. Now, that's all that Enigma have to fight for in the first half, an 8-4. That's even if they get that opportunity. It's been looking pretty one-sided so far. Look at that sound. I mean, hear that sound. You can't even look at it. It just...
I visualize it. I visualize it. Trust me. I look at it every day in my nightmares. It is the Odin. Trust me. And, you know, silver random teammates. But right now, Nomfu, he'll be seeing Rawfuel pushing him through. That's going to be a quick trade. Zeke is still present in the bomb site. Odin spam fire. And a triple through the smoke. 1 headshot, 2 regular kills. And that was Zeke with a Phantom. Not even the Odin. 30 bullets is all he needed for those 3.
Yeah.
We need to see that replay again in slow-mo if possible. We need to see that because this round is done and dusted. Kingsmen have got 9. The final round, the ultimate round of the first half is upon us. Let's see this replay. First, here's the trade. Great shot from Rawfuel. Instant trade. And then bam, bam, bam. Oh, they lined up for him. They lined up. And Zeke, he just gunned them down.
Kingsmen get their 9. Gotta be feeling like Enigma going 999. Like the meme. Just gotta hope that them ending up as a meme doesn't make the dream. They've won out Haven. This was their opportunity to close this quick and a 2-0, which doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Ooh, Nomfu deals with what we call Mr. Backstab himself. Does have Antidote right next to him though. Mind you, he has the spike. Commitment towards A. Zeke repeating the same position, and he's repeating the same plays. Another double. Nebula. It gives him a galaxy of hope.
Oh,
And
the
he
door
turns-
prevents it.
Yeah, and he's turned out to be quite the star himself. Nomfu
One
on
enemy.
the back of the drone should be able to get this. Hey, who needs the drone when you have a bone to pick? 10-2, double digits on the side of
Switching
Kingsmen.
sides.
And with 2 rounds, if Enigma get taken out in the pistol, that's essentially map 3 right then and there.
It may be map 3 right then and there, but I'm not going to lie, OG, from how this is shaping up to be, map 3 is going to be seen regardless of what happens. Kingsmen are just looking far too stronger in this instance, and it doesn't seem to be a major way to stop them from the side of Enigma. Not a lot of retaliation from what we're witnessing. I know you've been talking about rotations and stuff, but to me, all of that, in this very instance, in the context of this map, all of that comes after the major fact that is kills and frags, and Enigma have been lacking in that department severely when compared to what happened on Haven. On Haven, everyone in Enigma was popping off. I mean, obviously, Rafael had 32 kills. Rafael is still performing right now, but it's about the other 4 members as well. They really haven't been putting up a lot of the kills. If we have a look at the first half highlights, let's see how many of these are highlights from the members of Kingsmen, and then how many are from the members of Enigma, barring Rafael as the sole exception because he has double-digit kills. But any other member, yet they just haven't been up to the mark as much as they would have liked to, as much as they have the potential. Because if we saw that on Haven, it's clearly that Enigma possessed the capabilities. All the members possess the capabilities to be the Sheriff God, the Vandal Sprayer. However, something in this match, in this map more specifically, is preventing them, is prohibiting them from getting that clutch factor and from getting those capabilities unlocked and used up. And it's Enigma's job to figure out what. And the sooner they do it, the better. And if they are too late, then it'll be too little and they'll be down into the loser's bracket.
That hurts. That'll be a painful way to go down. And talking about her, dude, this Nebula play that we've gotten accustomed to see from Kingsman. Yeah, I just had my eyes closed throughout the segment where he had that triple. It's too painful to watch. Too painful. And now, Enigma, what should be coursing through their minds? Did they think that, it's too little too late? Did they go map 3? They actually attempt this Herculean comeback. The pistol, again, is going to be all important, right? It's going to give them a start.
True.
It's going to give them an economy. It's going to give them an added round. Thereafter, you need to do what essentially Kingsmen did in the second half on first map. They did not play the bonus. They went with the big investment. They went in for the Vandals and they won that round out, which made it that much more closer. Hey, they're smiling. I like it. That's good stuff. Despite this, they have a little bit of positive vibes still running in the boot camp. And RVK, I like that eyebrow. I think giving a little bit of a wink to his monkey as well at the same time. That monkey's positioned so perfectly, man. It's always watching over RVK as he makes these big plays.
Yeah, I'm not really sure the psychological effect of the monkey right there. Probably the cuteness factor, perhaps.
Therapy monkey, yeah.
Therapy monkey. Okay, let's see how therapeutic this is gonna be for the members of Kingsmen. As so far, I'm not going to lie, this has been feeling like the range for them with how they've been shooting the members of Enigma. Yeah, I hate to bring up the same topic, but I feel like in this match, it is a topic worth bringing up. Enigma, their kills haven't been the best. On Split, is that gonna change? Well, it has to change for the better, as already the top fragger is gone. Antidote still in the bomb side. He'll be good for 1. That's the second, and he could have dealt more. Rexy was also there in the bomb side. Rexy gets his first kill. Good stuff for him. Potentially this can be more. However, OG, with this shaping up to be a 2 versus 2, the thing is, there is a chance for AG to take this. They are on the retake. They've got to play together. They have a bit of utility. Kali, he's got the flash. That one guiding light can be really helpful. Not to mention the regrowth is there as well to heal RVK if it is the necessary option. A Nomfu peeking this corner. He can dash away. I think he spots both of them. That's why he flicked towards B main. And now there goes the flash. Nomfu's in the Nebula. Doctor from Boathouse, that's one kill. That's one isolated gunfight. Nomfu is just dashing away. Excali, he still gets one. The right click, it's gotta work. Ghost versus Classic. Bring around the Rosie, and it's gonna be Doctor getting the headshot. Expression hasn't changed. A little smoke is there, but this is a big win.
A big W. It looks like Enigma are gonna potentially tap out at any moment. Yeah. On the back of this round, it should be 12. They've gotten for the full stand here. You see an Ares on the side of Excali and Antidote. Spectre on Raw Fuel. RBK with the Sheriff as usual. Rexy on that Marshall. I like this from Rexy. You know what? Even I'm a fan of the Marshall, dude. Beautiful gun. Let's see if we can put an art piece out for exhibition today. A lot of utility. Being dished out towards that A side. A slow rotation back though. For either side. It's just that Enigma, they have to maybe play a little aggressively to get a little information. And on the back of information, they can then base their setup. They're gonna sprint their way towards B here, Kingsmen.
There was a quick little peek right there from Amin using the guiding light from Kali. RVK peeked as well. We didn't see it, but on the minimap it happened. So Enigma, I think, are aware that it's mainly going to be a B take, or they may be fooled by that setup. Because rotations, okay, only now a rotation is happening. Now it's all dependent on time and Anti's location. He was holding the same angle previously. In this instance, he'll be punished for it. Kingsmen, they knew about this. If you don't change your setup, well, your life is going to be changed for the worse. Ivan, Nomfu, both of them, 3 in total, the kills that they've got. And the 2 members that were on A have rotated over to B. But Zeke, does he miss RVK? Nah, he checks the corner, Zeke isn't going to make mistakes like that. And Kingsmen are well on their way for the 12th. Raw Fuel though, he's got the Spectre. This force buy from Enigma, I mean, it was a risky maneuver. I entirely understand why Enigma went for that. But seeing how this round went, yeah, it didn't go in their favor. And now I think this was the final straw that broke the camel's back. Enigma, they have to find a new camel, because on split they'll have to do a lot of climbing. So maybe a horse be more suitable. As right now for Kingsmen, no matter what they do, everything is suiting them, everything is sticking, and everything is working. Raw Fuel, still the final person alive, and it won't be too long before the round comes to an end, either by elimination or by explosion.
Yeah. Now, with map point on the side of Kingsmen, a split is looking very, very viable. The split's also a Pandora's box, right?
True.
It's gonna be a thriller. To see who our first upper bracket finalists are gonna be, ladies and gentlemen. The A side, it might have a couple of members, it might have a couple of guns. The side of Kingsmen have made it pretty evident that they want this done with right here, right now. The recon, a second of delay in destroying it costs Raw Fuel his life. Where is everyone hiding? Right in front of you, Zeke.
Okay.
Again.
Can't finish this off with an ace.
Are we gonna see it? No! RBK whiffs!
Oh, 7 bullets.
Come on. Oh, Risa, I'm reporting him right now. That's not cool. That is not cool. Wow. What a way to end it.
I mean, yeah, what a way to end it indeed. 4K and just everything working. Look at Zeke, he's excited for that ace, and then he laughs it off. He knows that was an important win. However, the members of Enigma, well, they aren't laughing right now. They know inherently this was an important map, and a showing like this is going to affect their morale majorly. They know this is going to be difficult on split, because now this best of 3 is effectively a best of 1 decider only on the map of split. What has happened previously, the scores, the kills, the frags, all of that null, void, nothing. What matters now for these teams at least are going to be the players. But we are still going to be talking about the map of Ascent. We are still going to be... was an amazing map after all, and I absolutely loved everything that was going on from the members of Kingsmen. They had sheer control. Not only were they figuring out the strategies of Enigma from round number 1, they were punishing them for it, and in terms of kills, Kingsmen were like 5 steps ahead. Enigma, they had a sprint in mind, but Kingsmen ran a marathon.
Yeah, they did. They ran a marathon and they know it's about the last leg of the journey now, right? One map lies ahead of them. One map to decide who's going to continue this upper bracket run and who's going to go down to the lower bracket. We need to have a lot of grit. They need to be a lot of determination on both sides, which there is. These are some of the best players from their country. And yeah, if it goes down in flames, if it goes down in this much of an action packed best of three, so be it.
Action packed it surely is. Already, we've gone through an overtime, a one-sided defeat for the side of Enigma, and a great win for Kingsmen as well on Ascent. Split. What exactly do we expect there now? We have seen both sides of the spectrum. We have seen a loss, or like a major heartbreaking loss, but at the same time, we've seen a close win etched out as well from the members of Enigma. Where exactly does Split lie in this spectrum? Is it going to be a hard fight, but eventually 13-9, 13-10, one of the teams takes it? Because honestly, I'm not really sure which team is going to be favorable on the map of Split. Having a look at, Enigma, I know they had been improving for a while on that map. However, in 2022, I do not think Enigma has played the map. At least here at the Esports Club, I was checking their previous records. Like I was seeing their past couple of matches as well. Even at the Gauntlet, the other tournament that is going on, even there, Enigma against multiple opponents, Split hasn't been seen. And those right there, those are best of threes as well. So with Enigma having either no or very little Split experience recently in the past 3 weeks or so, I'd say that it's going to be interesting. But what was very, very one-sided was this map and the highlights as well. But still, even if it was one-sided, doesn't mean, OG, that the highlights weren't great. They were, the plays we witnessed, just stunning stuff.
Yeah, just stunning stuff. And again, the highlights that we relive. But essentially was a card. It felt like a field day, right? For Kingsmen.
Yep.
It felt like they were at the range. They were warming up for Split. And it seemed that they're warmed up enough. These plays that were made through the nebula. Every time I see a purple color smoke now, I'm not going to push, man. This is giving me a shiver in the back of my spine. Enigma, the few rounds that they did manage to win were on the back of individual brilliance from people like Raw Fuel, from people like Excali. The way you win has to be on the back of strategy, and it has to be pre-thought. Individual brilliance, it's only enough to propel you so far. That is not going to be far enough to you being in the grasp of victory.
True, yeah. Whether it be team coordination, individual brilliance, everything just seemed to favor Kingsman. That was the thing. Even looking at these rounds, this one, the one in front of our screens right now, this was, okay, guaranteed. It was a echo from the members of Enigma, but still, this Gardens area, you talked about the Nebulas briefly, but this Gardens area, I'll make sure whenever I'm playing the map of Ascent right now in my own games, every single time I'm going to rush B, I am not going near Gardens, because all the kills that we have seen are.
And you're lucky that you didn't get to see any cringy Sova plays, my friend. If you head into that B side, you have a scary, scary Riza with a scary, scary Odin. You have no clue what lies ahead of you. That's the thing about Ascent. And yeah. Ooh. I like that.
Even after all of this was said and done, Enigma still, they just couldn't seem to get a hold on what was happening. Zeke with those multiples as well, and then, there was obviously Nomfu. No matter who was trying from the side of Enigma, again, with the exception of Raw Fuel, who had double-digit kills, no one really popped off. And this is the one thing that's still aching me, because no matter what strategies you impose, no matter what things you implement into your style, what theory you apply in order to attack or defend, at the end of the day, Valorant is still an FPS shooter, a first-person shooter. So you still need to shoot and land your kills. You can't just fire stray bullets, because even if you do, Kingsmen, they really didn't miss their bullets, nor did they miss their shock dots. Great match comes to an end, and Zeke, as I've got to say, as the Cypher, the performance he had, a KD of 5, OG, a KD of 5, 341 average combat score, 203, average damage rating. These are numbers well beyond what should be in a tier 1 matchup. These are just insane statistics right here.
A KD of 5. Right? See, I don't know. Do I laugh? Do I cry? Like, what do I do if I'm supposed to analyze this? Like, these numbers are simply bonkers. Like,
Exactly.
and these numbers are like the game, right? It absolutely made no sense at multiple points. 13-2, considering the extravaganza that we got to see at Haven. This wasn't a heavenly situation for Enigma whatsoever. It was the polar
It
opposite.
wasn't.
And yeah, we mentioned the fact that raw fuel needs to pop off. He was well taken care of by Kingsman. He was completely denied many opportunities where he could have made impact. Yeah, it was too little too late at some point. And Enigma, I just hope for their sake that they have something nifty prepared for Split, or else this is gonna easily go the wayside.
Yeah, one thing surely is that, yeah, raw fuel, I mean, I've been saying that in his team, he was the one who popped off the most. But again, relatively, in comparison to the Kingsmen members, he had a bang on dead average performance, like fewer kills than Doctor, Nomfu, and Zeke. Just like, it wasn't the best. And considering he's the Jet, I mean, yeah, it really wasn't the best of performances. For Nomfu as well, I'm not really going to say much because look at Astra and Cypher. They're getting 17, 20 kills. You don't always, it's not always necessary to be the Jet, be the first person who always gets kills, be the person with the top fragger, like the most amount of kills. That's all well and good if you achieve it. But if your teammates are popping off in such a manner that Cypher's getting 4Ks left, right, and center, you're really just going to take a back seat, hold down an angle with the operator, and just wait for someone to fall into your crosshairs and be a victim to that operator right there. So for that very reason, just overall great performance from the members of Kingsman. The majority of the members having this many kills, the other two members as well being this close to like 10 kills, having 9 each. Meanwhile, Enigma was just on such a back foot with 3 kills, 5 kills, 5 kills, 1 for Rexy. It just wasn't optimal by any stretch of the imagination. And that to me has got to change. I mean, that is thing number one. Doesn't matter what strategy you have, you've got to get kills. And Enigma have got to focus a way to get that, because this is something that will be applied on Split. And on Split, you've got to get frags regardless. Having a look at the map recap as well, two very wildly differentiating round and maps we have. We had Haven going into overtime. Enigma took the dub. But here we were on Ascent, and it was here that Kingsmen just absolutely obliterated their opposition.
Yeah. Split, a map where it's a little more tricky to play around because you don't deal with aggression head on in a map like that. And
True.
we're going to have more discussions about Split. We're going to have more discussions about the match, and we're going to have the map itself coming to you in a silver platter. But all that with due patience, ladies and gentlemen, as we'll be back right after a short break. The last mile of a strenuous journey for both these teams. Enigma, they fought their hearts off in map 1. Kingsmen, they more than returned the favor of a defeat in map 2. We're gonna head into split, and this result will give us a first upper bracket finalist for the Zotac Cup. And none of this would be possible without our sponsors. So again, a huge shout out to Nvidia, LG Ultragear, Crucial, and Corsair. Let it be monitors, let it be RAM, let it be SSDs, let it be graphic card. We got it covered from top to bottom. And talking about getting covered from top to bottom, dude, the way this game went, it's like a roller coaster. Game 1,
Mm-hmm.
it came so close to the wire. Enigma, they edged out a W. Here in map 2, it felt like Kingsmen were edging out a sculpting while at the same time beating Enigma. That's how much free time they had. Now, split. Map 3 and the final map of this best of 3 is going to be crucial for either team to get off to a good start. If it's going to be as lopsided of a start, either side more than capable of a steamroll. But in my opinion, Kingsman more so than Enigma.
That is true. Right now, yeah, the morale of
Yeah.
but then again, the map is also there. Then again, I mean, there's so many factors at this point. Fatigue may as well be an issue. I mean, arguably, yes, like these players, they are known. We all know these players to put in mad hours of work a day, not just in terms of like broadcasted matches like BO3s, but also, you know, their ranked sessions, their VOD reviews, their scrims, and exactly anything under the sun that comes under practice, all of them. So we know that these players have a lot of stamina and they need to have all of that. But still, when you're playing tier 1 Valorant, the like it takes a lot of toll on you mentally as well, not just physically. Physically, you're going to be staring at the monitor. You've got to make sure that, you know, you are having that attention given everything to what's going on in the game as well, and to make sure that your shots are crispy. That is why I always recommend get LG Ultragear monitors, 144Hz, 27 inches, to make sure you miss nothing that goes on your screen, and you can certainly hit those crispy shots. As of now, in the meanwhile, all 10 of these players, they will be having to hit their shots regardless of what their previous performance was, regardless of what agent archetype they play, sentinel, duelist, initiator, controller. They've got to make sure on split they give it their everything. Now, talking about split as a map, I was wrong. We did see Enigma very recently, about like a week ago, here the Gauntlet over, you know, and we did see Enigma end up defeat God Particles. I believe it was 13-7 or 13-6. And the lineup Enigma was running, it was Astra Viper double controller. And then they had single initiator, single duelist, and one, you know, one sentinel as well. That was the Killjoy being played by RVK. So they were running double controller. But now with all the changes that have been happening, I'm not going to lie, are Enigma going to go for something out of the ordinary? Are we going to see potentially double controller, double duelist? Because we have seen squads play that. We have seen on split, on bind, that can happen. Does it happen always? No, certainly not. It's not the meta, it's not the most primary composition, but it's not something completely uncommon as well. Teams are known to play for that. Teams are known to go for those selects and those picks as well. So if Enigma do something to, you know, altercate essentially the composition, and something that the members of Kingsman may not be expecting in terms of the composition, that can inebriate them a bit. Because earlier, for the past 2 maps, we have been seeing the same comp, double initiator, double initiator. Now, heading into the agent selection phase, well, it seems to be a very quick one, doesn't it, OG?
Yeah. Ivan? Sage. Alright. One of the few maps where we see that Sage pickup be more than viable. And it depends on how the side of Enigma even deal with it, right? They need to make sure that they instantly break the Sage wall. On the other side, Ivan needs to always innovate as to how he opts to use that aggressive piece of utility. RVK is the only one we'll be waiting for. So we have the Astra, we have the Jet, and he's going for the Viper. So yeah, I think it's a very similar strategy which Enigma are going for.
Double sentinel, yep.
Yeah, and on the other side, the Sage picked up.
Interesting stuff right here. I'm not going to lie. From both of the teams, with the Sage pickup as well, Astra Vipers there, Cypher is also present. Both of the rosters have gone for something. Well, I was expecting one team to go for out of the ordinary stuff, but yeah, this is how it goes on Split. You really have a lot more freedom with the compositions, and you can get those results. I mean, technically, you have the freedom on any map. Pick 5 duels for all I care. Get your coach in, get Neon, get the 6th. It doesn't matter. But Split still allows you results with these different comps that you would not expect, that you would not essentially get on other maps. And that's what, in my eyes, makes Split special. I know plenty of people don't like playing this map. Even I don't like playing this map, but seeing this map, I really want to. So let's jump into the game itself. Let's see what these teams have to offer in the final time. We will be seeing them today. The map, the decider map is here upon us. The pistol round is going to be starting anytime soon. If everyone brings their eyes to the top of the screen, you will see the 1-on-1 alongside the names of both of the rosters. So both of these teams, they won a map. It all comes down to this. This best of 3 has been turned into a BO1, and Split is where it gets neutralized, or everything gets sorted out.
Well raised. Up armor, so no slow orbs on the side of Ivan, which means he might just need to fight alongside his comrade, who's all the way up through ramps, that being Nomfu.
Whoa. Oh.
Are you
RBK?
serious? Are you serious? Okay.
My god.
1 kill down. I think they have not anticipated Riza's position though. Riza could line up to... Oh no, the whip. That might cost him because RBK is right around the corner. He gets blinded as well, which means there's a little bit of breathing room. Pulls out the bird, but he gives out the bird. RBK, he ends up going down, and Riza, he stabilizes towards market. Ivan spots the last 2 members of Enigma. This pistol round was chaotic from the get-go. Ivan denying the aggression through screens while
One
he
enemy remaining.
and the rest of Kingsmen start to rendezvous. Yeah, you might have the tripwire, but Ivan ain't tripping. He's more than ready. And so are the rest of Kingsmen. That wall from the get-go plays perfectly. In the pistol round, it becomes far harder to break the wall once it's become,
Exactly.
you know, solidified. So after that retreat, the play towards market essentially settled it, and the fact that Riza came on top of that is in and of itself unbelievable. Yeah, the pistol, well deserved for the side of Kingsman, considering how hard it was to stay stable at such ruthless seas.
Now that they're into, lower tides as well, now they can absolutely dock their ship and essentially park up and play, because they don't have to go anywhere. They just have to wait for Enigma, and Enigma have to bring the firepower to them. As we can see right now, the Spectre of Zeke, it spots at the very least 1 member. Potentially, unbeknownst to him, there are more, and they're going through vents, but Nomfu is present right here as well. He's holding the same angle, and Kingsmen, at the moment, because of the gun disparity, they have everything locked and loaded. Nomfu now, he gets the audio cue as well, that someone is looking to go up. He's waiting, he's watching that very angle, and a Sage Wall, unfortunate for Rexy. He was just trying to knife it. Now a major rotation is happening on B Garage and B Heaven. However, Kingsmen are going to shut it down regardless. The 2 different attackers remaining. Well, Antidote will be good for 1 kill. He retrieves the Spectre, but right here is Zeke in the bomb site. On which angle is he going to be checking? 22 HP on Anti. He's looking for headshots. He knows in that instance the Sheriff is far, far better than the Spectre. However, again, he doesn't know where Ivan is. And he's just going to fall back towards attacker spawn, I guess.
Yeah. Very little damage that he can do as well
30
now.
seconds left.
He needs to die so he gets money. He will be taking this fight. Zeke, the only member that's wounded from the side of Kingsman to a significant extent. And mind you, Antidote on 22 HP, so not like he's doing very well whatsoever. Riza puts a bullet to his body and puts an end to the shenanigans. 2-0. Now gonna be the bonus round. It's gonna be a round where Enigma have that opportunity to take the W. However, Kingsmen have been really on point for the past 1 hour in denying any kind of opportunity to the side of Enigma.
You made an extremely valid point right here. And this round may just settle the debate. I mean, granted, yeah, Kingsmen are totally on their bonus. They've got Spectres on board and full armor. Full armor that's not even been rebought. And now Enigma with these rifles, it can be big. Oh, that was a great play from Ivan. The flash supports him. However, Excali, brilliant headshot onto Riza. And now Ivan, he knows the decision to make is the smarter one to fall back. He knows giving up A site is well not worth fighting these couple of kills for. As already Enigma, well, the spike is right there outside of B main. And oh, Enigma have figured this out. Kingsmen always go for this push through the nebula. They're looking, look at the crossfire being maintained. Those are going to be 2 quick kills. Kingsmen get punished for the play that they had been making previously. However, Kingsmen still get something in return. That's going to be the life of Rexy. And Zeke now going to be the member towards the B bomb side. Great nanoswarm. I mean, look at how much damage it already dealt to Antidote. You know, being on 53 HP, no armor. He's going to get the spike. He's going to go from B main instead of B heaven. He's going to plant it. And now Kingsmen are forced into this post plant with them being outnumbered 2-1. However, this one major play can happen. The Killjoy pushing through Garage. Meanwhile, Ivan is making noise right here on B heaven. This is going to be an influential play. We can just see Zeke pushing through. He's right here. He's holding the angle. Rawfield misses his shots. That's one gun dropped. And now, like I said, Antidote as well. He's also low, 53 HP. Might I remind you, Ivan's also there. He knows the position of Excali. Zeke gets another. That's a double. And now Excali's location is known. He has been cornered off. That's one headshot. He doesn't have any utility. He has to push this. He's getting tagged. He's sticking it. Oh no. He goes away. 7 bullets in the magazine. He's sticking it. Excali. He didn't know. And that is going to be a thrifty bonus for the side of Kingsmen. 4k for Zeke. Another 4k.
Another big round lost by Enigma. This was a very crucial round. Again, CCB, the bonus victory in such a fashion. It's like they give the kid candy, they allow him to unwrap the candy, and then they take the candy away, leaving the kid with the wrapper.
At least you can recycle.
Yeah, but which 10-year-old is, that keen about recycling, saying that he's the cool kid?
True. I would much rather flaunt the candy to my friends. Yep.
Oh god. This is... We talk about so much candy, but I think that this is more like dark chocolate, dude. It's not sweet, it's bitter.
Well, it may be good for the health of Kingsmen. I mean, their morale is really looking good. Health, physical health, I mean, it may be the same for all 10 of the players, but the mental health of the Kingsmen side right now, it's really shaping up to be better. As Antidote, what happened right there? Did he get bombarded by like too many members on his screen? Whatever happened, still unfortunate round. I mean, unfortunate loss of life. He could have really gotten at the very least 1 kill. Ivan, he was going for a jump play through the wall. He's not gonna go for that. Excali, beautiful headshot. That's the first Enigma have gotten in this round, and it may just be the only. Riza, he has been tagged, he's been lit up, and now he's been healed as well. So the members of Kingsmen, they're just holding these passive angles as we see not a trade of lives, but a rather trade of heals. And now Rexy being the only person alive, he is the Achilles heel. He has been tagged, he's been lit up, and he's been put into the ground. So great stuff from the side of Kingsmen. Another round 1. Enigma, yeah, really these buys are not winning for them. They'll opt for another full buy. And OG, if this doesn't work out as well, it may be a chapter done and dusted, at least for the first half.
Yeah, like it was in the map prior. That could be what we're gonna see now. We've gotten to see magical plays from Zeke. The last time around, he was on the Cypher. Now, he's on the Killjoy. One thing that doesn't change though is his uncanny ability to pull off influential plays, and Nomfu, a very crucial pick-off. As soon as Enigma get on the guns, doesn't seem like they're gonna be having that fun. Mind you, it's Excali who went down early, right? He had the Seekers up. Rexy, if he would have gone in the double there, an opening for Enigma, but the trade keeps this still in a very, very huge favor for the side of Kingsmen. They have that lockdown available on Zeke. As much as he can kill with the gun, he can take that lockdown and remove all the fun from that situation. And this is the A side after all, right? A well-placed lockdown could force them out in the open, which without any cover means that Nomfu and Zeke will have ample for the picking. Committing the plant, the lockdown should be going down. They commit the Viper's Pit, but how much can they play on the back of it? Well, the answer is very little. They're gonna be hoping to play this one aggressive. That's their only hope, to break this lockdown. They're gonna attempt it. Oh, the whiff. Important plays made by RVK as he breaks the lockdown, facilitating raw fuel. It needs to be the big play, and the big player coming up alive, the doctor. All his patience now on the bed as he put this round in the shed. 5-0. He's gonna maintain the clean sheet, and Kingsmen, they are going to assert dominance where they can. This was down in the wire. Everybody played that situation perfectly. The aggression through the Vipers, but the ability to break that lockdown. Raw fuel bringing this down to a 1 versus 1. How much more miracles can you expect in one round?
That was the exact factor. Because of the lockdown was destroyed. Yeah, sure, it costed, it costed the life of the Viper. Because it was destroyed, it allowed raw fuel to stay in that corner, stay in that extreme right angle, and no one really expected him there. Earlier, we saw Nomfu peeking down that corner, like trying to get an angle with the operator, but then he absolutely forgot about that. And because of it, it allowed raw fuel to get the double, which he then went on to get a triple. However, he wasn't the only person who got a 3K in that round. The doctor, he was right there, and he got his fair share of kills as well. He made sure that as many as raw fuel got was the same amount he was getting for himself. But the one thing, the one place where these teams are not similar, where these teams are not equal, has to be the round count. Right now we can see YB as well talking, well, at least in my eyes, words of wisdom to the members of Enigma. However, their faces, they give away far more information than what their words can ever do. We know that Enigma, they are not liking this position. After all, which team would be? After having such a good victory yesterday over Exploit, and after winning Haven in such a hard-fought manner, who in their right minds would like to lose Ascent 13-2 and currently not have a round on board on the map of Split as well? And with Nomfu peeking corners like these, I mean, can anyone stop him? Raw fuel is another jet that cannot be stopped as he gets two, turns around and gets a kill as well. That is just great stuff. But Enigma now, they can go for this execute if they would like, but there's one man who can stop them. That's going to be Doctor. He'll be good for one. 3K for raw fuel, potentially more on the board.
He's been trying to lead the way, and he's leading it by example. RVK, on the back of this man advantage, he can afford to play this aggressive angle. How expected is this going to be, though? The Astral Divide is a dead giveaway, that this is going to be an aggressive play through screens. He checks the close angle, but the shorty, it needs to be pointed at the right direction. Zeke will go for the pre-fire. Man has pulled off brilliance before. Has the potential to do it again. On the back of the turret, he wants to play the aggro. There should be the double peek though, coming in from both screens and elbow. The only so much he could have done in that situation. Anything more, and I think would take a pause for our admins to check his PC. 5-1 regardless. In the map prior, it required 3 ultimates for the side of Enigma to win that first round. They still did expend those ultimates in the round prior and in this round. They've won only 1. It's looking to be a similar story, CCV. Not trying to jinx it here, but I'm sensing it.
Well, not to play the devil's advocate right now, but one good thing for Enigma is, regardless of how many rounds Kingsmen won, their economy is still not in the best situation. So this one round absolutely can turn into a second for Enigma, and they can keep the ball rolling from there. However, everything is dependent on round number 7 in front of our eyes, because this is where Enigma have got to deliver. Kingsmen, they've still got Sheriffs, they've got the Marshal on board as well. Rexy pushing through, just, with the help of the Trailblazer, it clears out multiple angles. Evan, though, he's still here, he hasn't been tagged, and the Trailblazer on the side of Kingsmen concusses Rexy. And now you have the peek from Riza. He's got the guiding light, pop flash can happen at any time. He goes for his own. Evan, though, I'm not really sure, was he flashed, was he not, whatever he was looking at. It bit him back. But Kingsmen, they're down a man. They should just be looking for kills and save rifles. I know they have plenty. They will have plenty in the next round to go for a full buy. But if you can save a rifle, you better. As towards Vents, we see another kill go in favor of Enigma. And this entire round is theirs apparently. 3 kills with Vandal, 3 headshots. And Enigma may be on their way to get the third. But for now, it's they're going to have to deal with the second.
Nice shot.
Oh.
30 seconds left.
Marshall, viable at both the close and the long range, upgrades himself to a rifle. Rofio 15 HP, but he diffs him. 2 to 5, 3 rounds. That's what splits these teams. What's the investment looking like? The operator is back up on a Nomfu. No sweat whatsoever. If they're able to shut Nomfu down on this aggressive operator, that's half of Enigma's work done. The fact that he's able to always get that early pick and dash back is half the reason why they're facing so many problems throughout the mid round. They're losing one member, they're not able to get that trade, and even if at that point Kingsmen play the numbers game, they're going to be the ones with the advantage walking out of that. So they need to find a way to nullify Nomfu. That's what they need to buff. I mean, that's what they need to take out of the picture because it's buffed. And well, that aggressive stance from the doctor, he wasn't expecting somebody to push that nebula that early and to be holding that angle. They have not committed to the B side on the back of that though. They know that the rotations are going to be close. They know that the rotations are going to be from heaven. In fact, with the heaven being walled off, they've essentially opted out of mid control and they're playing aggressively through the mains, which is a very common thing to do. And which is a very common thing to expect as well. Rofuel, you can see the tilt. You can see
I'm
the
not
tilt.
really sure what Kingsmen were doing. I mean, all 3 of them peaked the same angle, expecting a different result. Really not viable when you're up against raw fuel. I get they were going for info. But
Here's
yeah.
the thing though, so with the way Kingsmen tried to play that mid round there, what they essentially did was after the initial loss of their Astra, they walled off mid, they essentially walled off B heaven, and at that moment you watch for Rope's aggression and you try to get aggressive at least one side of the main, either A main or B main. They made the call and Raw Fuel was more than ready for that call. If they would have gotten the frag on a raw fuel, that would have been a completely different picture then. Then essentially everybody else is either forced to break that wall and commit towards B, having B main in the back of their mind, or going down the rope room and then going all the way up towards A, which has more angles to clear, and you'd still leave A main exposed. So it would put them in a difficult situation. At this point, I think it is more down to the duels not going their way than them making the wrong call.
Okay, that is a good explanation right there. And yeah, for Kingsmen, they've got to explain the economy right now, but still, it's not just their economy that is in a bit of a pickle. They are getting those kills. Nomfu may just get another if Excali's not careful, but Cali will survive. A total of 4 members do, and we have a timeout being taken from the side of Kingsmen. So after losing these 3 rounds, they've realized that Enigma, yeah, we may have been, defeating them 5-0. It doesn't mean this half will be ours. We still have got to make sure we take the win. We have the advantage moving on over to our attack because Enigma, something has woken up. And if this wakes up entirely, I think we'll be putting Kingsmen to sleep very, very soon, or at the very least putting them into the losers brackets and progressing them forward from that point forward, and progressing Enigma themselves into the winners bracket finals. But still, a long way to go. Enigma are down 2 rounds. We still have one entire half. Well, a bit more than one entire half on the map of split remaining. So as of now, we still can't really theorize which team is going to win because the side swap is still yet to happen. Once that happens, then we'll have a far more clearer picture in our minds as to which team is in the advantage, who will be the underdogs, who will be at a severe handicap in trying to get this map win. But as of now, nothing much really can be said because Enigma are looking to be on the tail of the members of Kingsmen. They're looking to catch up, neutralize the lead, and build one of their own. And now, with the action phase almost upon us, let's see what happens in round number 9.
Crucial round, because this still means that we have the operator up on Nomfu. He's been known to get that aggressive pick. This time, he's going to go towards A where nobody's going to be present. It's going to be a quick mid to B that's attempted by the side of Enigma. They're going to try and use as much utility before they commit to the peak, which is smart because they've shut raw fuel down. Oh, they have an inkling that more presence is there towards heaven. The doctor, he's able to work on the back of the tail blaze, completely making that push impotent. Now, RBK in the side. 3 versus 2. They play this one aggressively. They have an inkling as to why the doctor is trying to the spam through the smoke, through the cover. 6-3, man. Like, that was a heartbreak. That was hard to watch. The counterplay at Heaven was so perfect. You just can't fight fire with fire. You can't fight utility with gunfire as well. You need to try and outbrain that move. As soon as they committed for that fast play, it felt like the side of Kingsmen were more than ready for counter initiation. The setup for Nomfu, he's going to go for that aggressive pick, and as soon as he gets that pick, there's going to be a wall that he can ball off. I like the smoke though. It gives Enigma a little more room to work with as they're trying to play a little aggressive towards the B side. Potentially. We still haven't seen that aggressive B main peak coming out from them. Riza has information though. Zeke, first kill.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Hey, yo. Okay. Still a good kill. In the previous round, what happened was it was a very disconnected push. Now the spike is all the way, has to rotate over. As right now, Nomfu waits and great shot onto Antidote. This is so much time being wasted from Enigma. Look at the spike on the shoulders of Excali, going all the way from A main to attacker spawn to garage. And look how much time that has allowed the members of Kingsmen to take backside control. You do have Raw Fuel, but with Vault off, Raw Fuel has no support whatsoever. He is stranded right here in the bomb side, and he will be picked off. Kingsmen, I don't think they were entirely aware about this, but now that they saw him and they killed him, that was just amazing stuff. And now I think, OG, it was the spike play, it was the wastage of time more so that costed Enigma the round, and this may just be a flawless win for the side of Kingsmen. I mean, the resurrection happened, but still flawless nonetheless. That will be that. A team ace as well. And Enigma, even though they had side control, just the sheer amount of time and how valuable it was for the defense, it allowed them to regain that side control even before Enigma took it with the spike.
Amount of time, like you said, that was the one thing that Enigma played completely wrong there. You can't afford to sit on a site, not play the objective, and at the same time boil like 45 seconds. That's just you going out in the forest and calling out for danger itself. It's gonna come get you at one point, man. You don't need to call that much. The Blade Storm, the wall, Rofio, he can still play aggressive. I think he might have just tried to get Ivan off edge there. That updraft. He chooses to play a little more conservatively. That also gives him a little bit of information as to how they want to play that wall. This is, however, the exact position Kingsman wants Enigma to be in. They walled off B Heaven, so they go down ropes. A two-man setup towards this A side with Zeke being the main man. Rexy, though, finally delivers by taking Nomfu out. That's a big pick that Zeke just got there. Raw Fuel, there is no more Blade Storm available. 4 versus 4. That dink did not translate into a kill. They found Antidote. The lockdown again. A similar position, a similar play. They should expect this kind of aggression to come though. RVK. Oh, he's gonna break the trip. He know. Oh shit.
Wait.
Oh shit.
He missed him.
Not like this. Not
He's
like
taking
this.
it.
No.
Oh, okay, yes, he was there.
He had the play
My
written
God.
down. Oh god.
Last round before the switch.
That was something else entirely. Had RVK died, it would have meant that the decay wouldn't have been there on Zeke, but then again the cover wouldn't have been there. But because in this case the cover was there, he was in decay, and then all Rexy needed to do was land a couple of shots which he had pixel perfect precision for. So yeah, it was a lost situation for Zeke. He could have tried going for gunfights, but the time was really catching up to him. And now Enigma have been catching up to Kingsman, I'm not going to lie. Like a 7-5, it's not too bad. That's only like a 2-round deficit compared to the 5-round disadvantage that was there. And Raw Fuel was known for flashed, and did he still get the kill on his way potentially for another?
Holy. I have no clue what we're seeing anymore. That was outrageous. Phenomenal job with that operator. Whew. All right. Same strategy yet again, walling off B Heaven, giving them Vance control. They have the neural theft available as well. So Enigma, as soon as they get a pick, they can play for information. Mind you, the Astral Wall has come in clutch on so many occasions. And it's up on the Doctor. Nomfu has that Blade Storm available, so retake ain't gonna be a sweat even though he has that Operator. He's more than comfortable taking it CQC and right in your face. What's the play here? Because if they commit to that B rush like they did the last time, it's so easy to punish it. The flash is dead perfect, and it leaves RBK aggressive all by himself. The double! They send Enigma back into the next half, 8-4.
Switching sides.
That was just the flash forcing Enigma back. You know, the nebulas, look at the cover, the cosmic divide, the poison cloud, and then there was Reza Excali. He did get the trade, but I think it was a little too late. So I'm not going to lie, this is just looking quite dominant from the side of after all, from the side of Kingsmen, leading 8-4. However, what did we see on Haven? We saw Enigma, they had the 8-4 lead. However, their opposition Kingsmen were able to equalize that going to overtime. In this case, it may be the same story, just different teams. The team swap may have happened. As we are going through the highlights right now, right from round 1 towards round 12, everything was sheer chaos. Everything was... If there's one way to describe what happened, it was confusion. If there's one way to describe how these post-plant executions, all of that work, it would be confusion. There was not a single moment where we had total idea of what these players were going for or what plays might have been happening. Because even if the players had some sort of strategy in mind, it still doesn't equate to the fact that it's going to be, you know, it's going to go the way of a very simple, convenient strat getting executed and getting implemented. It's gonna be chaotic, and that was everything the first 12 rounds were.
Yeah. What's the play here? I mean, we've seen what Kingsman can do on the back foot, right? It was a very close affair in map 1, and it was Kingsman pulling off a comeback in the second half with the exact same scoreline. This time it's Enigma on the back foot. You've mentioned this as well before. With the way Kingsmen have been playing, it seems like their experience is on par with their skill. Enigma, this new face that they've been having with Excali on their roster, this is gonna be an important result. This is gonna be a very, very hard ask, but to be the best, to be a champion, it's games like these that go down in the books of saying that, yeah, this guy is the absolute best. These guys can absolutely kill it.
They absolutely can, yeah. Now, you know, the half comes to an end. And yet again, I think the thought in everyone's mind, including the players themselves, is going to be the side swap. I know I've been rambling on about it since Haven, Ascent, now on Split. But I have been rambling for a reason. Okay, apart from Ascent, we did see a change happen. From 8-4, Kingsmen went 12-12. Now, a similar position, but Enigma find themselves at a 4-round deficit, not the members of Kingsmen. All Kingsmen need to do is just start off in a good manner right from the get-go. Because if you win the pistol and you win the anti-eco, irrespective of who the team is that are winning those 2 rounds, it is going to be absolutely detrimental in order for their journey for the win. Kingsmen take it, they're getting 10-4, 6-round lead. Enigma, they can bring that 4 rounds down to 2, and then in the full buy, do something absolutely crazy and insane, helping them thus, you know, equalize the lead even more. So, let's start off round number 13.
Round number 13, the most important round for Enigma in the best of 3. This pistol hopefully sets them in good ways. Raw fuel, the small window he had, tried to go for that pick, did not work. Oh, okay. Lovely wall. Allows them free mobility in through heaven as there are 2 members stuck in rope room. At least the early rotation is gonna help. If I'm not mistaken, that is Excali on the sky. This is a dicey situation to be in. A lot of close quarter combat now gonna happen, and it's all gonna be on the better read. RBK takes the Doctor down. Cover essentially removed from the side of KGM. Passive play through CT. Do they break their own wall, go down rope room, and then hit the B side? They have RBK to deal with that mid. Now they're gonna go right to A, but everybody has rotated in. Raw fuel picking and waiting
One on
for
one
Antidote
side.
to peek.
Spike
Yeah.
down A.
Easy stuff.
Oh,
There we go.
okay. It is. Nomfu's still there though. Yeah, Anti takes him off. I think the round winning moment was the Doctor getting killed by RBK. Because look at that. The Doctor was going for a backstab from mid and he was thinking of an easy little kill that would allow him to, you know, drop RBK, who was certainly behind the wall or in the vents room. However, him losing that gunfight, in my eyes, was the tipping point that allowed Enigma to win, because now they were aware of the shenanigans and the jig was up from the members of Kingsmen, thus forcing them to just blindsided rush into the A-bomb side, where it led to more casualties, more deaths, and just more revenge from the roster of Enigma. As now they're going to be continuing on the path of revenge. They're going to go for a proper anti-eco buy. 4 Spectres, full armor, a Ghost on board, and Kingsmen, their bodies may be toast very, very soon. Considering they only have classics, I'm not going to lie, this round should be done and dusted very, very quickly. Enigma should be looking to waste no time. Whatever they have to deal with, from the looks of it, it may be a B main push, but regardless, whatever it is, I think Enigma can deal with it pretty efficiently.
What's with that classic spam, dude? Like, it looks funny. Not gonna lie. Although this round should be the 6th, like you mentioned. Peak. My member is going to be at mid from the side of KGM. This push on the back of the Viper's wall. This is going to be committed. Nice frag though by Scally through the wall. Spots out the head, spots out the bird. Ruiza, no way he could have stopped that.
One enemy
Clean up
remaining.
Cruz here,
Oh.
boys. And Rafi was just 2 points away from his Blade Storm, so did not discount that, ladies and gentlemen.
That is true. I mean, the Blade Storm, we've already seen, you know, the Blades deal damage. And more so, we have, I think, seen so many times Rafiel deal damage as well. You know, 16 kills, 11 deaths on par. Almost on par with Zeke right now, but him going 17-7 as a killjoy just shows that almost everyone from Kingsman has their time to shine. Sometimes it's Zeke, sometimes it's the Doctor, sometimes it's Nomfu. Even the other 2 members, you know, they have those moments and they certainly have consistent performances. And I think that's the biggest factor right here. As the members of Kingsman, they'll be going in for a full take. It's going to be Rafiel versus Nomfu very soon. Again, the Sage Wall goes through. Rafiel's trying to break it. He's got to fall back. And Kingsman, they have entire control. Look at that gravity well. Look at the Nano Storm. There was not much RVK could do. The site is now up for grabs. The attackers are going to grab it, take it, snatch it. Now, Enigma, they have to retake it. However, with only Spectres against Vandals in long-range gunfights, I don't have much trust in this round going the way of EG.
Yeah, the repeat of the pistol strat coming in from KGM, but with far more utility this time to make it far more easier. The Doctor is gonna punish the aggression in through ramp. He's just playing around with the Cypher Cage, man. Enjoying his sweet merry time. The rest of the sides of EG, though, is gonna try and push through screens into L. Well, they're gonna take an L for sure. Doctor, is he gonna be challenged? Nah, Nanido's gonna straight up challenge hell.
One enemy
Back
remaining.
turn, and that is tap turn. Easy. Ivan closes it out. 3k for him as he's 3 points away from the revive. 9-6. This is important stuff being done by KGM. They've punished the bonus in a very, very clean way. Now, Rafuel is going to be on the operator. In the first half, Enigma were not able to deal with this operator whatsoever. Whenever Nomfu want to go aggressive, he went there, he got the first pick, and in almost all of the occasions, he dashed back. Now, Rafuel needs to try pulling off the same magic. If he gets punished, this is game done.
Lot riding on this round. Yeah, that is very true, OG. Now, Kingsman, what is their strategy? I think they're looking for something similar, but in this case, they're pushing a B heaven. However, they do not see RVK from behind. He gets a quick little double, you know, uses the snake bite as well, pushes out Reza from that angle. Yeah, Kingsman just, at times, they're just blatantly oblivious to the fact that they are defenders around the corner. They get so, what's the term? Not bottleneck. They, oh, regardless, whatever the term is. A thermal vision right there. Yeah, they do get a trade. And I'm still not going to lie. Tunnel vision. Oh yes, tunnel vision.
tunnel vision.
I heard thermal vision, and it did make sense because the smoke was there. It makes sense. But yeah, they do get tunnel vision, and this has happened previously as well. But in this case, again, okay, 3 versus 4, not all too bad. Rexy has spotted so many people, and the one-way cyber cage goes through along with spam fire. So the members of Enigma, they are aware it's going to be a B take. That's why 3 defenders are right here with 1. That's going to be Rafuel with the operator playing towards A, waiting for info. But Kingsmen, they're going to execute.
This is the play they're trying to make. Rexy, he's set up for this exact play, the Nanoswarm. He completely deals with it. The aggression by Antidote, though, he is going to be punished potentially. I think that was just to buy a little more time, and Rexy should be able to find the back turn. Antidote kind of does a smart thing there by being detained. It essentially forces the fight, and there were 2 members, if I'm not wrong, that's Cali and Rexy. Yeah, it's worth it though. They win that round. They didn't let that trade go any further than it was supposed to, and they don't let any more rounds slip by because the room for error has decreased. Now, so has the margin. 2 rounds is what splits these teams, CCV. Considering the start, I didn't expect I'd be saying that in the second half, but it's good to see Enigma coming in with a resurgence. How long will this last? That's only a test of time. And what else is going to be a test of time? It's going to be operator on the hands of Rafuel. It's going to be the A side hit as well, so he's going to be met with pressure. Let's see how he deals with it.
Right, we very soon may see Rafuel again up against Nomfu as well, not just in terms of the kills that they're getting, but in terms of who will kill the other person. Going to happen right now, as we do see a small pause has been taken up by one of the rosters. So Enigma have gone for a technical timeout. Whatever the issue is, hopefully it gets resolved, because yeah, Enigma would not like to stop this momentum. Kingsmen, they have the 2 rounds, but then again, like you said, that 4-round deficit is now a 2-round deficit, and very soon it can become none if the members of KGM are not aware of how they're playing. So Rafuel's gonna be on the op. He will spot the Trailblazer. He will fall back. He's gonna still be peeking as everyone from Kingsmen is going to be pushing through. And RVK, he gets the opening kill. And again, the members of Kingsmen, they're just lacking the situational awareness. They're just not sure where the other members are. Rafuel still holding the angle. RVK, 4K for him. I'm sorry, the same position, and Kingsmen allow 4 kills. That is just... okay, I mean, good for RVK, on his way, well on his way to get an ace. But from the side of Kingsmen, this was not good. This was a major, fatal blunder right there. And it may lead to potentially another round, apart from this one going in favor of Enigma. Seeing how this one, well, it's going to be a near flawless.
Yeah, he manages to dodge that tripwire, though. There is another tripwire set towards vents, so... yeah, I don't think he's going to make it past this one without alarming it. Again, he did not destroy the tripwire at mid, so there's no reason for Rexy to be expecting a play towards heaven. An opening. Something. Oh, dude, I'm so happy I got to saw that. It's like a comic book. It's straight up like a scene from a meme compilation, dude. Straight up.
That's me in like horror games when I just have my fists and not the pistol with like 10 bullets or something. I just want to save those bullets, and then I see the monster, the villain, or the whatever, and I go back. But in this case, he still had to take the gunfight. Unfortunate for him, he lost. And unfortunate for Kingsmen, like I was saying, because Enigma won that round in a flawless manner as well, their economy is building. And for Kingsmen, in order to build their own economy, they have to save up. They have to be cheapskates for this round. They're gonna go for upgraded pistols. They'll be trying to find value out of it. However, Rafuel, it'll be good for one. That operator may as well be retrieved by one of the members of Enigma. However, Rafuel being downed, their top fragger gone, it may allow something and some plays on the side of Kingsmen.
Something going their way. Well, it looks like Enigma want to do them dirty, like what happened to them in the first half. One member that's been leading by example has been Nomfu. He's been making crucial plays. And Zeke, we've seen his brilliance throughout the first half, right? That's exactly what RBK is pulling back into the side of Enigma. And that's exactly what Enigma needed. The Seekers are going to be used on the defense. They want to proceed with caution here, Enigma. They don't want to give away the bigger objective, which is win this game. by just considering this round a throwaway. You have that blade storm, you have a couple of sheriffs. I like the way
Just baiting out
these knives, yeah.
Exactly. Now Nomu is going to get far more aggressive. However, the tripwire, that was just going through everything. But Ivan, he'll be good for one before getting traded out. And the thing is, for Kingsmen, they don't really have a lot of time on board. They're planning a B take. However, Antidote was there on the bomb side. Is there enough time to plant the spike? There may as well be. The spike is going to go down. Here's Rexy from behind. Is anyone from Kingsman gonna check it? It's a 2 versus 2. A flash. Beautiful headshot. This may be a thrifty round. Seekers go off. And now RVK's location has been revealed. It may not seem much, but the location is extremely important as both the members of Kingsman, they'll be double peeking. RVK. Wait. Reza. What? What was that? 13 HP. 19 bullets. He peeks. He still gets the headshot. Thrifty round win.
This is what they were trying to avoid.
That was a thrifty, but with a heart attack included. I usually don't think Valorant rounds have that. What?
They have paranoia though, if you play Spike Rush, so you get the scares, you get the chills. And for sure, I'm getting the
That
thrill,
was enough for me. That was enough for me. I do not want more. Thank you. Those sheriffs, oh my god.
Juicy, right? Well, the thrifty. Exactly the round which Enigma did not want to give away.
True.
It's going to be a costly mistake that hopefully that they can endure. Sure, they have the guns, but rounds are a different picture. Carry stuff. Heal. Gonna come in from either side.
For you.
This mid control.
Recovering it.
This is one of the first few times we've seen these teams actually fight for it. Neither team looking to give up this position. What's the proposition? Is there going to be a split towards B? Is it going to be a push through vents? This entire A side defense is reliant on that tripwire to its A main, right? They're allowing so much concentration to happen towards both mid and B.
You should run.
It's a right call that Enigma are making in terms of their setup. This lockdown is going to grant the side of Kingsmen some kind of leeway into the side. Raw fuel though is going to make it expensive. He's not going to give this away for free. They've taken control of this side as they've flooded it. And now with the Astral Divide and the wall committed, this is utility playing the game of numbers for the side of KGM. They know that they're a man down, but they got that lockdown out. That's all that they needed from the Killjoy. Now they're going to play on the back of this Astral wall, which buys them so much more time. And the Sage Ball as well. The flash doesn't lead to aggression. Ivan, he's still going to be playing this close. They, however, still need to set up for this post plant after the wall disappears. And Ivan in a big impact position. And this is where big plays are made.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, they walked in.
Ivan. Goodness.
What the hell did we just see there? I want to replay right now. Look at Nofu. He's like, yeah, it's just another day in the office, guys. Who are these guys?
That is true. That right now, the members of Kingsmen, they know it's still not over. That's the thing. That they know it's not entirely out of the hands. So for that very reason, like, I think we'll see smiling faces once it's done. But still, my favorite are like the teams from Philippines. They always go crazy with their cams. I love to see them. The entertainment value is just so much more. But right now, I don't think it's the cams we will be seeing. Well, not majorly. I think it's the game because yet again, round number 20 has started. Kingsmen 1 away from match point, 2 away from sheer victory right now. And from the looks of it, I'm not going to lie, that at the moment, Kingsmen, they're still looking better. Enigma, their side, Anti, he was looking for information towards B garage. However, Raw Fuel, he gets a quick little trade, and the refrags there, Raw Fuel will be healed. So it's still fine for now. But the thing is that the side of Kingsmen, they're just waiting for map control, or they're waiting for an opportunity. Being down in like lower mid, going back from sewers on towards A, when Rexy is right here with the Marshal, arguably are not as good as the operator, but if he can land his headshots, which I trust Rexy, he may be able to, it can be big. There's the people one, and like I said, he lands the headshot for now, and Kingsmen are down a man.
They're down a man, but they're up in weaponry. What did they do to break this presence in at the side? RVK.
Oh my.
Going for yet another.
Enemy remaining.
He could have been the closure. He's gonna leave that on his team though. Cloudburst allows Rexy to disengage. Meanwhile, there is a backstab coming in from Excali. They need to play this one together here, and they do. That was a case where sticks and stones break your bones. Nice individual plays coming in from Enigma, which has never been their weak point. Right now, they need to find a way to outmaneuver and out-strategize KGM. 2 rounds is what it requires for KGM to close this game out and progress through the upper bracket, and 2 rounds for Enigma to find that equalizer. Raw Fuel, beautiful job
Down A.
punishing this early aggression in through A, and Antidote removing Nomfu.
Yeah, that was, I'm not gonna lie, from Nomfu, not really sure what happened. He just dry peeked that without any support whatsoever. I mean, I get Kingsmen were already out of the one sky, so he didn't have a lot of initiating support, but just peeking these angles, you know, like this, without any bit of utility on board, not really the best maneuver. And Kingsmen, yeah, they are looking to lose out on this round as well. Enigma are well on their way to get a flawless win. And I think this is the biggest factor. Now, Ivan, he has been tracked by the shock dart. The gravity well makes him, vulnerable. Then there's the one-way cyber cage. It feels like this man has just entered a room of traps right now. And yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a flawless win for the side of Enigma. Another well-fought round, and Kingsmen, looks like now the pressure may be getting to them. However, again, they still need 1 round. That's it. And then they'll have the match point. As for Enigma, 1 more round, like you said, the equalization can happen. Now, Kingsmen have taken the timeout, a much needed timeout. This can break the momentum. And for the side of Enigma, yeah, their momentum needs to be breaking if you're considering the perspective of Kingsmen and all of their players. As for Kingsmen, you know, it's really interesting thinking what they'll be talking about right now in this break.
Yeah. 30 seconds left on the break. Now, let's see what kind of utility they have up. Risa, 1 point away from his ultimate. Doctor, 2 points away from his ultimate. Ivan, 2 points away from his ultimate. On the other side, it's only RVK who has that Viper Spit available. Now, with RVK having that Viper Spit, he essentially could make sure he has either mid in lockdown, he has B-side entry in lockdown, or A-side entry. Now, out of the 3, my money should go on mid and B, just due to the fact that it's so easy to get picked off at A and so easy to be spammed down at A as well. At least with the B side, you have a little more added cover, right? That's exactly what you need. Now, if they're able to deal with that, cool. But I think that's going to be reserved for the gun round. Here, with just pistols, I would sound crazy to say that they need to fear it, but we've seen thrifty victories, right?
Exactly. That's the thing. I mean, everything that has happened so far in the 3 maps, everything under the spectrum of what can happen in Valorant has, except for a comeback. That we haven't seen so far, but we may see it. I mean, Enigma, they were down 4 rounds, and now, you know, they're only down a single, looking to equalize that. As, like you just said, OG, it's a thrifty from the members of Kingsmen. They've got upgraded pistols. Meanwhile, Raw Fuel, he's sitting pretty with the AWP, waiting for someone to appear into his crosshairs. Multiple people will, and he may just get multiple kills. Excali surely does. That's going to be a double. And now this is just a disconnected push from the side of Kingsmen. You know, like 3 of the members going in B heaven, trying to get control, didn't work. And now you just have the final 2 members right here on B main. And obviously this won't work as well. Rexy, oh, I think he was entirely flashed. Okay, so I think it may be a UI issue right now, that we didn't see the flash for the entire duration. But I think now I get the sense that what has been happening for a couple of times over the course of this BO3, it's just that the players were entirely flashed, like the one where it's right in front of your face.
The equalizer is on the board, man. Considering the way the previous map went, I thought it might just be a breeze. But not the case. 11-11. The possibility of an overtime highly likely. This round has a couple of crucial ultimates up as well. On the side of Kingsmen, you have those Seekers, right? Those Seekers allow you to play fast in contact on the back of information. Rexy being the menace he is. Just a nice cheeky little jump bait. Splitting open the B side of Rock Fuel.
Got your trail.
Ooh, it was a tough situation he was put into, but manages to make it back. Now with the Seekers, they need to commit to the fallback. They need to essentially give away this control towards heaven. Although Excali reveals the position and reveals the play, he whips out the Seekers of his own and puts that push to a grinding halt. They've committed that Viper Spit towards that A entrance. So the A side, the only way that they're going to get into it with any kind of safety is through mid-vents. Meanwhile, the setup towards B is daunting. You not only have the Cypher set up here, but you also have the support and the presence of both the Astra and the Jet, which means that numbers is gonna be on the side of Enigma on the defense. The only thing is, the backstab will it work. Rexy letting go of a crucial frag, and this side has been opened up like a darn walnut.
Now, this was a great play. Nomfu, he was the silent assassin. I was thinking, wait, why isn't he pushing alongside his team? No, he was waiting to distract anyone on heaven because we knew and everyone knew Enigma or that one person, in this case Rafael, would look down towards what was happening on the bomb side as the execute was happening, trying to find an angle, and that's where Nomfu struck. And now, RVK, he'll be good for one. That's the second, but the Doctor gets a total of 3 kills. And everything falls down to this round. Over 3 hours of Valorant gameplay right now, and we are still not done with this, OG. And the players as well, they are still not done with this. We still have a bit more to go. Everything may fall down onto this map, or we are going into another overtime. All that being said and done at the moment, Kingsmen, they're right here. They're waiting. They've got the map. Like, they've got the map point at the very least. They've got one extra ultimate as well. For Enigma, only the neural theft is present. Meanwhile, Kingsmen, they've got the resurrection. And I'm not going to lie, with frags as explosive as the ones we've seen, a resurrection can be very influential if done at the right time on the right dead person. So, who's going to be the first to die? That's the main question. Who's going to be the one from the side of Kingsmen risking their lives? Well, something suggests me it's going to be Nomfu, since he is the entry fragger. He's going to be white peeking. Rafuel is right here. Beautiful kill from him. The Nebula may just allow Kingsmen to go for that resurrection. Yeah, he's ready. The Sage Wall will also go through, like I was talking about it earlier. That will happen. But look at Rafuel pushing in. Now he doesn't have the tailwind. He's got to go back. That was unfortunate from Rafuel. He got a bit too greedy. And now Enigma are the ones down a man. And Enigma are the ones who've got to make something about RBK.
Are you serious? He's pushed all the way from A main. This is a very linchpin position that he's holding. And Nomfu, he won't have wind of this. That is the spike. Oh my goodness. He counts his time. And now he counts his victims. He's gonna buy as much possible time. 30 seconds left on the clock. There needs to be a commitment coming in from the side of Kingsman. The Doctor, a crucial frag. 20 seconds left on the clock. Time is gonna be of the essence, ladies and gentlemen. Riza finds himself in a position of high impact and high value. Everybody from Enigma starting their rotation away. The bomb plant's gonna go down. It could be the spam though that wins Enigma over time. Lockdown is gonna be disposed of. Oh my god, Enigma! Not like this. So close, yet so far. This could be Enigma going down in tar. Is this gonna be the lockdown stuck? Well, he ain't gonna commit to the back of that. He still wants us a 1v1. Both players now resetting, but Zeke having the advantage of both silence and information. Excali making his way back up the rafters, but he's gonna go down potentially to the nano swarms. Zeke
Unfortunate.
finds himself a little bit of composure, and Kingsman bid farewell to Enigma as they're sending them packing to the lower bracket.
After overtime on Haven, after 13-2 win for the side of Kingsmen, 13-11, 24 rounds of regulation, Enigma fought and they fought. It all came down to the 1 versus 2. Excali, the new recruit, he had to prove himself. To an extent, he did. But here, at the final checkpoint, he failed to reach it, and he failed to reach the finish flag. And now, Enigma, they are going to go down into the lower brackets. What a win for the side of Kingsmen. I mean, Nomfu, his expression, just such happiness, right? The extreme expression. I mean, he was over the board. But okay, all jokes aside, this was a very intense affair between both the rosters. Nothing can deny that. Nothing can deny the 3 hours that both of these teams have just put in of Tier 1 Valorant. Irrespective of the maps, irrespective of the scores, what happened here, like I said, was a war. This went on multiple fronts, multiple hours, so many lives lost, obviously in game, metaphorically, but all of that led to this one result for the side of Kingsmen. They will be the first team representing, by the way, again, the only team from Malaysia, mind you, and they will be the ones in the winners bracket finals. However, the way they had to fight, especially on this map of Split, well, we can recap, and we can have a recap in the form of the match highlights brought to you by ZOTAC Gaming as well. Looking at what just happened, looking at the pistol as well, it all started just going all too well for the side of Kingsmen. 5-0, and then Enigma started making the comeback. But up until that point, 5-0, they were looking far too strong.
They were looking strong. They were looking in control. Enigma, this finally felt like their resurgence, right? After a devastating map 2, it feels like that anguish, that anger, it was all being put to good use. They dominated the first half. And we mentioned this as well. Kingsmen, they needed to make sure to come back in such a way where they have perfect utility at perfect time. Those clutch revives, those clutch lockdowns that help them to get into the site, that help them to hold the site. All this, sure, it might be somewhat circumstantial, but it also is going to be calculated towards the mid game as to how you want to play it. And a lot of these rounds, how they dealt with this low-paced aggression, it was delightful to watch. The operator was so hard for the side of Enigma to counter. Nomfu was an absolute menace throughout the first half, just completely getting away with crime. And that was very hard for Enigma to find an answer to. One thing that Enigma did right here was at least play their game to their strengths, right? You saw on multiple occasions, they wanted to go for their signature backstab. They wanted to make sure that it's them making the decision, not being forced to. So that you can surely hand it them. When it came the chance for the attack, now that is when KGM kinda had a lot of loopholes. They also knew one very important thing. You're not the only one with loopholes. As long as you know how to exploit the loopholes of your enemies, that's how you're going to come up on top. RVK, he'd been... like, dude, it happens to a lot of us all the time. It's good to see that it happens to the pros as well. We're not the only one lost in that experience. That aside,
True.
A lot of these rounds that the side of KGM were able to pull off was on the back of 2v4s, 3v4s. Communication in that situation is key. When you're going to buy aggro off your teammates, when you're going to buy utility to buy time, that, if relayed, can set up the perfect play, which at least in this last map happened more than 3 to 4 times. That's way too much for just one map. That is what Enigma need to rectify. Even in a position where they have advantages, somehow, from somewhere, KGM find a way to retaliate, and they do in style.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, side of Kingsmen, the retaliation, the counter-strutting, even the angles which they were holding, you know, the way they fired back as to any execution being brought out from the side of Enigma was really good. There were times where Enigma's execute was looking good. However, the retakes, they were really well. And I think we talked about this even in the previous 2 maps as well, is that the retakes of Kingsmen were looking strong. And they really had emphasis that they will go for retakes. They let the side of Enigma get map control, get side control, plant the spike for all we care. then we're going to start bouncing back. Then we're going to be the ones eliminating you and dispatching you one by one, picking you lads off. And that's exactly what they did. There were several instances. There was a one round with the Killjoy lockdown, with the Viper's pit as well. And, you know, Rafuel was there who got a double kill. Those were interesting rounds where it could have gone either way had it been dependent on a kill or two here or there. But once Enigma started winning, and 8-4 was a good score. But still, the 7-5 could have changed everything so differently, as we have our MVP yet again for two maps, I'd say consecutively. It's going to be Zeke, 25 kills this time, 268 average combat score, 171 average damage. Like, just great statistics overall. Very strong.
Flashback to that thrifty round, the bonus round, in fact, that Kingsmen were able to just secure, right? That quad kill from Zeke, that's going to go in his eyes for pretty sure, man. Man's got no shortage of clips as he just gets into the bomb site and he starts to dip. Rafuel, valiant effort. We mentioned the fact that Rafuel needed to come alive if Enigma had any hope or any semblance of a victory in this map 3. He delivered. He tried his very best. Sometimes when he was on the attack, there were multiple opportunities where he had, and he got caught off guard on multiple circumstances as well. It happens. Sometimes to win big, you need to play big. And those are the repercussions of not winning when you go in those kind of odds.
Absolutely true. Yeah, the repercussions, the consequences, extremely important when you're playing for important kills like that. Yeah, exactly. Like when you're playing for the win. Now, in this instance, we've had a look at all the scoreboards, but overall, who was the best performer? OG? Let's have a look. Who was the series MVP? I think, yeah, I do agree. Should be Zeke, but let's have a look. And it's going to be none other than Rafuel, as a matter of fact. I think the 32 kills really sealed the deal. I think it was the map number 132 kills that allowed Rafuel to get the series MVP. 67 kills over the course of 3 maps. One of the maps, I wouldn't even count it Ascent. It was just like, what, 15 rounds. But average combat score 283. To maintain an ACS above 280 for 3 maps, your average damage ratio of like 190 and stuff, just insane numbers. And Rafuel, after this, he may as well be well on his way to take the entire, tournament MVP of the Zotac Cup as well, and get himself an NVIDIA RTX 3060, courtesy of NVIDIA as well, who will be giving that to the MVP. As of now, if Rafuel wants any chance to get that graphics card, and potentially if Enigma want any chance to take a chunk out of that $15,000 prize pool, well, they better start playing in the lower brackets and they better start performing irrespective of who their next opponents are. They have got to start pushing. That's that. Done and dusted, plain and simple. There is no denying that whatsoever. Enigma have got to make sure that that stays on point. But as of now, I'm not going to lie, great stuff from Rafuel. Just overall amazing performances. And this thus allowed him to, be the MVP and really have such an influential impact on almost every single map. On Ascent, yeah, he only dropped like 12, 15 kills, somewhere along the lines of that. But still, on Split, on Haven, this man could not be stopped, regardless of what the result was for his team.
Yeah, and he played exactly how a Jet's meant to play, right? Aggressive.
Yeah.
That's what was required. That's what he delivered. Sometimes he did fall short, but hey, it's all Gucci, man. There are some days where you lose, there are some days where you win. Sadly, they had to take the L today, but lucky for them. Like you said, there is that lower bracket run that they can now try to get heated up with. This is a journey that's going to be long. This is a journey that's going to be strenuous and stressful. This also is a nice way for Kingsmen to show that they day. Ascent was a great go, not gonna lie. Haven and Split, yeah, those were sweats.
Absolutely. 26 rounds, 24 rounds. I mean, total of 50 rounds on these 2 maps. And by what of a margin? By how much of a margin did Kingsmen win ultimately? A margin of 4 rounds in total out of 50. that just like the volume that brings alongside it is that, like I said on Split, this was not a best of 3 anymore. This was a best of 1. And these teams, they played it like it was a single elimination best of 1, nothing like, everything to lose right there. If you're down, you're out. That's it, pretty much. For Enigma, though, in the context of things, they're not out of it completely. They are in the losers bracket. They can fight their way, as we have seen multiple times here at the Esports Club in previous tournaments. As for Kingsmen, securing a spot in the winners bracket finals, the next thing they can do is just, for in the upcoming hours, just after a couple more minutes, is just grab refreshments, grab popcorn, sit and watch our next matchup as well. Because if we have a look over at the brackets, we can see what our next matchup will be and how that determines the entire seeding. Yeah, our next match is going to be Action PH up against Velocity Gaming as well. Another nail-biting affair. Meanwhile, right now we have one match that has been completed. It was an off-stream match, OG. Down in the lower brackets, Enigma Galaxy fought off against Reckoning Esports. They ended up defeating them 2-0. So unfortunate for the side of Reckoning Esports, they will be the first team getting eliminated from the Zotac Cup. They had a great run in the qualifiers, but I think they've realized, and we've all seen, that they're not just there as of yet. They're very close to reaching the tier 1 status. They have been improving, but against the likes of Velocity and NGX, Reckoning have a bit more to improve on. So we bid them farewell.
Yeah, we do bid them farewell, and we do wish Enigma the best of luck through their lower bracket run. It's been a
Yeah.
long day, and we have another exciting match. So, ladies and gentlemen, take a small break, refresh yourself. We'll take a small break, and we'll be back. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right here at the House of Esports, the Esports Club.